Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a blast from that thing that happened before now. Whoops, my bad. I'm your host, Past Runner, or Classic Runner? Actually, wouldn't that be Lore Runner Classic to follow the Coke model? And it actually tastes like crap. Oh no, no, hang on. Lore Runner, it was Lore Runner New that was the one that tastes like crap, and then like Lore Runner Classic is the one everyone's like, oh, this is amazing. Hopefully everyone's doing well today. I don't really have a lot of history with this game, although I decided to do a little digging into the behind the scenes, and actually there's very little information behind the scenes in this game. Um, I did know that several of the Saga team worked on this, also known as the FF2 team. I did know this was actually made by Squaresoft, and I did know that this was never ported outside of Japan, even to this very day. So, speaking of which, I just want to give a quick shout out to Aeon Genesis for allowing us to be capable of playing this game at all. Good morning, Girl, and hello, more cowbell. When I was looking into this game came out in '96. Now, if that doesn't sound weird, this was a SNES game that came out in '96. For those of you who don't remember your historical context, here's a couple other games that came out in '96. Pokemon came out in '96. Tomb Raider, Diablo on the PC, Quake on the PC, also Super Mario 64, and Resident Evil. And a decent number of other games too. Civilization 2 came out that year. There's actually a decent chunk of games that came out in '96. Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, that franchise got started there. Daggerfall got started in '96. '96 was when the PS1 and N64 were already going. And officially and commercially, the majority of companies had effectively already shifted over to the next generation. Now, back then, shifting from one gaming generation to the next wasn't really a process yet, because it hadn't really happened all that often, and it certainly hadn't happened on an industry level to a point where it really mattered. Hi, Platty. So, nowadays, when we switch over from the PS3 to the PS4, or the PS4 to whatever's next, there's a whole system in place for that, and developers are informed well in advance, and it's just this shift over to the next gen. Back then, it just kind of whatever happened. Now, I decided to look into a couple of things here. Turns out, so here in the States, games kept coming out on the on the SNES, excuse me, not the Switch. Games kept coming out on the SNES until '98. In fact, October 6th, 1998 was the very last SNES game outside of Japan, or at least here in North America. That would have been Frogger, which I actually knew that off the top of my head. I also knew that Kirby's Dream Land 3 was one of the last ones, and so forth, and so it is. November 27th, 1997. In fact, Frogger was really kind of a fluke. Honestly, '97 was really the last year that the SNES was supported in the States. We had Kirby's Dream Land 3, we had Harvest Moon came out then, Lost Vikings 2, Donkey Kong Country 3. All of that was late '96, and then into '97. But '96 here in the States was functionally the last year for the SNES. I could list actually a fairly large number of games that came out in '96, whereas I can only list, let's see, counting everything, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 games that came out in '97. So '96 was the end of the SNES, at least when it comes to the States. Now, Japan is, of course, a completely different matter, because Japan's insane. No, seriously, though, Japan kept coming out with games until 2000. November 29th, the year 2000, was the last Japanese SNES game. Something called Metal Slater Glory. I've never even heard of that. And a whole bunch of other games came out in '99 and '98. Japan just kept making SNES games for a while. I've never heard of, like, any of these, except for, of course, Fire Emblem, which is the one that more Cowbell just pointed out in chat there. But the point being, that at this point in time, the SNES was on its way out. Now, you might wonder, why are you bringing this up, Laura? Well, here's I can tell. All right, I will fight you, Necro. Near as I could tell, this game that we're looking at was basically made just for frickin' cuz. And this is actually kind of weird to think about. How many times does that happen nowadays? How many times does Square, we'll use them as an example, just say, you know what, go make a video game. Go ahead, go do it. We're doing fine financially, and we don't really need to hit any particular market, so just make a game. We're not really going to market it. We're not really going to do much to sell it. In fact, this game had a very limited print run and only came out in Japan. So have fun. I suppose you could argue Square does that to some extent or another because they have the Tokyo Factory thing. I would disagree. I also think the Tokyo Factory games are awful, but that's just me. Point remaining, though. This big game was, again, near as I can tell, just made for frickin' cuz. Which, okay, sure, I'm with that. This game also apparently has literal game-breaking bugs. In fact, I have actually a list here of 2. The big one is apparently Day 8 with Serland, and I'm just going to kind of keep that in mind. I don't really know what that means. I suppose we'll find out as we go into this. So, without further ado, like I said, I don't really have much else to say here, so let's just go ahead and watch the intro. Although, by the way, Necro, I do think this NES is not the best console. Because the Switch is the best console. Okay, so moving on. And as ever, I will need help with the audio balance because it's a NES game. Long ago, when the world was yet wreathed in chaos, it is said that the heavens gave order to chaos, that the heavens bequeathed a great power to the earth, granting unto it prosperity. And battleships, apparently. Thus the advent of all life on Earth. Including a creepy-looking statue thing. I still don't know what I'm looking at here. It's like a statue with a head sticking out of it. Ugh. Especially wise and gifted, the divine race of the Danans. Swimming gracefully through the seas, the merfolk. Living proud yet arrogant lives, the reptiles. And possessing incredible strength, the giants. However, none were able to earn the heavens' favor. That's not how grammar works. And in time, one by one, they disappeared into the creepy statue rock face thing. In time, the heavens gave birth once again. Life, 'tis said, flourished anew. By the way, hi Cord, hi Emperor Valerian, hello Adam Suda, hi Necro, and hi Bep. Treasure of the Rudras. Okay, let's see what we got here. We'll probably go with default names. It's so blurry. Okay, so Scion, yes. Serland, a learned sorcerer searching for the truth. Riza, a vibrant druidess hoping to heal the world. Dune, a wandering thief seeking ancient riches. Choose a scenario, anyone but Dune. I mean, nobody really likes Dune, right? Okay, I'll become the greatest warrior ever. The secrets of the past ensure our future. Our ailing planet needs our help. Badly. Scion it is. God, it really is FF5 style set. They're late. Think they've managed to catch a cultist this time? What the hell? Did you see that? Like there. It just suddenly becomes crisp, and then it goes back to being blurry. Huh? Hang on. I was noticing this yesterday, too. Pause. Give me a moment. I didn't realize it was doing that. Like, I thought the graphics were just blurry. Now I got to troubleshoot. Hang on. The diagnostician in me is thinking. Good morning, Brigwin. That is very strange. Oh my god! Okay. I see what's happening. I don't know why. Oh, that's not true. I know exactly why, but what I don't know is why the game is doing this. Hang on a second. Check this out, right? Okay, check this out, right? I'm gonna shrink this and put it in the corner, okay? Let's see if you'll get the full view of this here as I do this. So, text bubble pops up, right? And then it goes away. And then it shrinks. And then it expands. And then it shrinks. And then it expands. Like you see in there, right? That's why the other emulator is interpreting that as blurring. It's the same transitions. When the text shows up, it expands, thus blurring it. And when the text goes away, it shrinks it, thus going back to crisp, like that. I've never seen a SNES game try to enforce different resolutions like that. Hang on. Let me see if I can force it to not do that. Just give me a second. I think it's actually the game doing that. And if it is, we're just going to have to live with blur, and that's fine. But that is extremely strange. No, oh my god. Really? Hang on. Oh, let's just close this entirely. Yep, there we go. We're back. Okay. How do I... You know, let's just rely on Google on this one, shall we? Because this is... I noticed the blur, but I didn't... I always find the weirdest issues, don't I? How are you guys doing this morning? God, the problem is it's so hard to find any information on this game at all. Of any kind. Good morning, Leander. Good morning, Blue Elf Alex. So apparently, that's kind of what I thought. They're using the SNES's own ability to scale, which is something virtually no SNES games actually did, in order to try and make the game look nicer. It's apparently only doing it for the font, and then undoing. I have no idea what this would look like in a TV back in the day. There's actually another game I'm aware of. I just realized I lied earlier. That does something similar, although I've never had this issue with it. Second Densetsu 3, Secret of Mana 2. So, well, we don't actually have a lot of options here, so we're just going to have to live with blur, it looks like. So sorry for the blur, guys. Because I got nothing. So let's get back to where we were. Blur. Maybe I could... I'll fiddle with it off camera. Let's just keep going. It's just blurry. It probably only bothers me. Especially because it keeps going back and forth between blurry and not. Like, if it stayed blurry, it'd be whatever, but it keeps being like, you know what, we're going to be crisp. And now we're going to be blur! Anyways. There's a girl! Oh my god. Rostam, you did it. You actually went and caught a cultist. Foxy here is the one you should be congratulating. Oops. Sorry, miss. Oh god, it's like shifting left and right each time, too. Foxy will be waiting for you in the second floor reception room. We're taking this creep down to the cells. Keep the girl company for a while, alright? Sure thing. I'll catch up with you later. Thanks. Whoa, she actually thanked you, bro. I'll meet you there. I don't know what any of that means. Oh, or rather, the stuff on the right means. We're level 1, guys. We attack fire, water, thunder, wind, light, dark. But our defense, fire, water, thunder, wind, light, dark. Actually, I can already tell you probably what that means. I wish to inscribe Lefignagig. Let's see, what are my matters? Let's go with... Lef... Oh, I guess that's it. Alright, whatever. We've got a potion, an ether... And a Phoenix Down, okay. And a run button. Know that the enemy is always searching for the quickest victory. Melee-oriented warriors should always be placed in the front rank. Protect spellcasters and ranged combatants by placing them at the rear. Make good use of equipment's offensive and defensive properties. The man Rostam returned with? Probably a member of the Rudra cult. Large as the Rudra organization may be, it's only a matter of time before we smash them. Just like we smashed Kefka. Remember to equip new items before battle. Nah. Swordsmen should always fight with valor. Book 1. Always heal the wounded warrior. Oops, I already did 7. I meant to do 6. Not every foe can be defeated with weapons alone. So, you're really Lord Eremia's daughter? I've heard a lot about your father's wealth. He's practically a legend here. Yeah, we are a wealth to King Cryun, you know. Fantastic. Hey, Scion, Foxy's amazing. Doug tells me you're going to compete in the Tower of the Valiant. Yeah. You the one who caught the cultists? I am. Our area's been a hotbed of cult activity lately, but it wasn't until the kids started disappearing that we took them seriously. They're kidnapping children? Our best guess is they're planning to using them as sacrifices. What little we know about the cult we've had to find out from their followers. The only certainties that they intend on reviving some old god named Rudra. Rudra? Who's Rudra? That's some Hindu thing. The destroyer god the cult worships. They believe that his rebirth is tied to the coming of a new era. Ridiculous. Since Doug mentioned the Tower of the Valiant tournament, though, how do you feel about your chances? Think you can win? I wouldn't be competing if I didn't think I could pull it off. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, it would. I'm pretty awesome, you guys. Hey, Doug, any idea how Rostam's getting on with the interrogation? Afraid not, bro. Maybe we should go and check in with him. I'm getting a little restless. I think I'll take a look around. I'll give you a tour. Thanks, Doug. Let's go. Whee. Agni's just chilling. Yeah, that's what I thought. The menu is blurry, too, because of the same reason. The blur. Feel the blur. I'm going to stop pointing it out. I don't want this to turn into Octopath Traveler 2. Or 0, I guess. Hello, Dakota. Welcome to the blur. Wait, nope. I said I'd stop pointing it out. Sorry. Foxy, the young woman who caught the cultist, is a very skilled fighter. Undoubtedly, His Majesty will want to talk with her personally. No, you're right. It's not Leander. If anyone wants to help me figure this out, please feel free to. I'm kind of out of ideas already. Like, that's not true. I have, like, 2 more ideas, but that would involve some real digging, and that's why I don't want to do that on camera. The cultist? I saw Rostam and Huey take him to the cells not too long ago. All's clear inside the castle. Thanks. Here we go. Wow, Dakota. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what I think of this graphic style, because it literally looks like they took the sprites of, say, Secret of Mana, and squished them down by about half a pixel to be closer to your standard FF style, FF size. So, SOM style, FF size. It looks really strange. I'm still trying to figure out what I think about it. I know, Disco, it's really weird for me to do that. I apologize. I hope you can forgive me. Get anything out of him yet? Nope, he's a tough nut to crack. Say, what's these boxes? Oh, they belong to the cultist. Funny thing is, I've yet to find any kind of lock on them. As far as I can tell, there's no way to open these things. You've been at it a while now. Want me to take over for you? Yeah, we're fine. If we need your help, we'll ask for it. You should be more worried about finding a clue as to the captain's whereabouts. But I'm sure I could... The matter is under control, Scion. Go about your business. Move along. Back to... interrogating. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use redstone in order to emulate Fortnite in Minecraft. And the funny thing is, actually, that's already a thing. That's not a joke. There really is a Fortnite mod in Minecraft already. Okay. Well, time to leave castle. I feel like we already saw that dialogue. Okay, now we're stuck. Whom haven't we talked to? Did I miss anyone in here? Pretty sure I already talked to him. Yep, I did. Damn it, Azura. Piss off. Hi, Adam. Oh, that... Okay. Feel like I'm getting some weird deja vu here. I don't know what it is. Well, I give up. This game's impossible. kidding, but I'm admittedly just kind of roaming at this point, like, whatever. Had to go one more screen. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm really hurting today. Oh, you have to be tolerant of me. Oh, okay. The Tower of the Valiant, you got it. Let's do it. I am the evil Chancellor. Wait, how did you know? Because I am a Chancellor. Where are Rostam and Huey? Oh, they're still interrogating the cultist. Well, then you shall have to relay our discussion to them. We cannot afford to wait any longer, Chancellor. Of course, Your Majesty. 2 days remain until the Tower of the Valiant tournament begins. Traditionally, Knight Captain Taurus would have been chosen as challenger. However, a few years has passed since we last heard from the captain. As all attempts to locate him have failed, we must appoint a successor. I already bested in Taurus in training. I can do it. Not so hasty, Scion. There are a few things you should know. The captain was very particular in his instruction to us. Jump cut. Are you sure I need to be jumping upside down in honey? It's what is in the instructions. You left instructions? Yes, only the strongest of our knights may ascend. That means you will be competing against Rostam and Huey. Whoever triumphs shall be sent to the tournament of our blessings. Furthermore, the king has chosen Foxy to be your knight-in-arms. This is kind of a joke. Nope, Foxy's awesome. The prisoner escaped. Oh my god. They're already in pursuit, and you're just standing there. Get a move on. Let's go find the guy. Let's go. You! And the guard has to really take his time replacing our spot there. I'm not even going to ask how the prisoner escaped. That's just whatever. I gotta find him. I know he's this way some way. Surely he's this way. Surely. Cultist escaped? He certainly hasn't come through here. Maybe he fled through the west gate. Sure. Welcome back, Cord. Well, vaddemit. The door was unlocked. I've seen nothing. He's already left town. It's just townspeople here. Time to kill all the townspeople for harboring a fugitive. The knights told me not to open up for everyone. Actually, that's pretty smart right now. Announcement! The Tower of Valiant opens its doors again. Challenging its perils is Scion, disciple of courageous Captain Taurus. Wait, what? I thought we had to fight the other two guys for even having the chance to fight. And also Taurus was supposed to fight, but he's only gone missing recently. And they're already putting up display posters saying we're fighting? That's, a bit presumptive, isn't it? Oh no, I've got it. Scion himself put those posters up. Who did the music for this? Oh god, of course combat's blurry. I will use Igna. I will attack. And do much more damage with a sword. Yeah, we're playing Darth Scion, by the way, in case you missed that. They've already gone ahead. Alright, let's go. Stay here and make sure nobody enters or leaves. Meanwhile, Kefka just shows up out of nowhere. Hi! I'm not even supposed to be in this game, and I just thought I'd burn some things for a bit. The Tower of the Giants. It was here that Dr. Mwench found the Lago Stone containing the Rudra of the Giants. Rudra? Yes. The Rudra. I still don't know what that means. I know it's a Hindu thing. I know it's a sword. Ah, it's the Divine Destroyer that visits death on the world every 4,000 years. I'm told the 1,000 years things make sense in this game, but we'll see. The giants built this tower as a grand memorial to their creator some 8,000 years ago. That is one enduring tower. You realize it was mankind that polluted this world. Sure. That's why it sounds familiar, more cowbell. No matter, in 16 days, the age of humanity will be at an end. Ha! There's Phils. Now all that remains is to take the jade itself. Tee-hee-hee. Creator, forgive me for what I am about to do. What? Oh, hey, it's the creepy things. At last, the legendary jade is in my grasp. Wait, you don't know what you're doing. A human? Listen well, little man. This jade is now mine. The glorious legacy of our creator shall bring new splendor to our race, and demise to your miserable kinfolk. Finally, 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 finally. Evil, evil, evil. Only the Rudra can decide who is worthy of bearing a jade. What in the... What is this? It's Lavos! Oh, God! Where is he? He reached the tower summit just a minute ago. Why aren't you going after him? He's not alone. Someone, or something, is up there with him. We're suspecting him may be an accomplice. What are we waiting for? Let's do it! Scion, wait. For God's sake. Okay, fine. Come on, let's go. Yes, Adam, there is. The next game... Oh, well, it depends on how long this game takes. The next game will either be Regalia of Men and Monarchs or Tropico 6, and then it will be The Other. And then it will be Pillars of Eternity 2. And then we'll be done with the backlog phase of streaming. If you have any more questions, ask them tomorrow, because I plan to bring it up during Lore Week. That thing can't be human. Back away, please, if that Jade's Park gets out of control. Accomplice, huh? Alright, now's the time to strike. Come on, let's show him how true warriors fight. Scion, no! Hey! Giant! But they're extinct, by gods! They've managed to revive the fossil on the Lago Stone? No, the fossil's intact. This one's different. Then he must be stopped. Let's get him, Rudra or not. I'm writing him a one-way ticket to the Netherworld. What is this insolence? Hear me, the jade of our creator's mine. Mine! Jade? Move it, move it, move it. Kill him, quick! It's the only way. Don't talk, just kill! You'll never beat me, weedy man. Alright, Hugh, let's go. What is up with his belt? Let's take him down. Combo strike. Dragoon attack. Wait, what? Bro! Damn you, human. The Jade, the Jade! Okay, they actually give him a sprite without an arm. That's kind of neat. Bro, hold on. My eye. He took out my eye. You bastard! What'd you do to my brother? I no longer bear the Jade? Couldn't have chosen a bearer of its own volition. Just look at him. I must tend to this wound. Whee! And I'm also going to kill two people with me. A giant. Was that a giant just now? Scion, open your eyes, please. Doug, is that you? Foxy, Scions. Oh my god, come on, we can't leave him here. Let's jump down the tower just like everyone else just did. Whee! Nah, okay, we didn't do that apparently. Was it all just a bad dream? I don't know, is your eye doing okay? I mean, I see a patch there. It's apparently on my left eye. Wait, no, it's on my right eye now. Now it's on my left eye. And now it's on my right eye. Anyways. Foxy! Are you my love interest? Of course, I'm a female! And I'm the only one next to you. I'm sorry, I won't make fun of that. You took some serious knocks. I helped your brother get home. The tower. Wait, what's happened to Rostam and Hewitt? Yeah, they're super dead. Or gone, apparently. How are you feeling? Does your eye hurt? Yeah, my eye's nothing to worry about. It's fine. Come on, let's head back to the tower. Foxy joins you. Yeah, this totally sounds like Mystic Quest music. But not as good. I mean... don't join the Knights. I hear they suck. Hang on a second. It doesn't have a thing for it. Ah, well. Yeah, we're level 1. There's actually a level thing there. I haven't seen a way to save the game yet. Like, in-game. Obviously, I could just hit save state, but, you know... Never mind. So we're on day 1 with Scion, apparently. We got this, guys. Did she just hair flip? Yeah, she's totally hair flipping. Still no sign of any bodies. Oh, whatever. So yeah, I was gonna say, if this is FF1, the game is now like, go grind. Or FF2. Or... I guess that's it, actually. That would be silly. We all know this SNES has terrible animations. Hair flip. Gotta do the hair flip. It's really important. Flip. 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 I don't know why. That's just really weird. Oh, FF3 is very grindy, but not at the beginning. That was the point I was trying to make. See you around, Valerian. So I have a money knife? That's a good point, Dakota. I mean, we literally have a ragu knife. Right there, you see it? That's our attack. So basically that's like a gold knife, I guess? Or silver knife? I don't know. So let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Probably going to give a negative to the encounter rate. Like I do on virtually every game like this. I'm sorry, but... I'm not sure what I think of the rest of it yet. I'm still kind of processing here. But, I mean, if I'm not sparing FF6 for the random encounter negative, I'm certainly not going to spare another game. Like, if we ever do an in-depth classic of FF6, I can guarantee you that's going to be a gameplay negative. Correct, Venters. We are going to be kind of Korean methoding for the usual testing reasons. Oh, are you kidding me? Okay. I'm trying to decide how horrifying those spiders are. Like, they're spiders, but they have, like, human heads. Like, baby heads, though. That's just really messed up. Well, we just leveled. So, that's an interesting discussion to be had there, theoretically. You say you don't have an issue with the encounter rate. The first and most obvious question is why, but let's actually rewind for a second. What do you think about the encounter rate we're already seeing in the game we're playing right now? As you can see, it's pretty high. We're looking at looks about 9 to 10. Nope. Yep, nope, that's about 10 tiles there for an encounter, so I was right. And that is pretty normal for an FF game. Depends on the specific game, Adam, but most of the older JRPGs, basically from FF4 and upwards, used a system where every step you take basically changes a value. And it's a random value that changes, but after it hits a certain amount, a random encounter happens, right? So, for example, every step you take, let's say this is just made-up numbers, let's say you add 2 to your encounter step. So, once you hit, oh no, hang on, let me rewind that a second. Once you hit, say, 50, a random encounter happens. So you take a step and 2 is added to it, then you take a step and like 5 is added, and then you take a step and 7 is added, and then you take a step and another 3 is added, and so forth and so on. Eventually, because 1 is always added, you will eventually get to that. So even if every step you only incremented the rate by 1, you will always have an encounter at an X point. Make sense? Now, there are ways to manipulate that, and actually quite a few JRPG speedrunners do exactly that. They have what they call a step counter and an encounter map for exactly how encounters should go to enable them to try to minimize the number of random encounters in the game. There's usually other variables as well, and the further on you get, the more variables there are. But for example, let me use a direct example. If you equip the... I actually can't remember what it's called. There's a relic in FF6 that lowers the encounter rate. All that does is reduces the number that's incrementing every time you take a step. And the Moogle charm just sets it to 0. So it can never happen. FF8's another pretty classic example of that. In FF8 you have Ink Half and Ink None, and both operate in the same way. Although what a step is little less coherently defined in FF7, 8, 9, 10, etc. But there it's usually about... So to use a direct example, if you move at all, that's a step. And then if you move like X amount, that becomes another step, if that makes any sense. So in other words, if you stutter step in some of the games, you can kind of reduce the amount of steps you're taking, but you can't actually reduce it to 0. If you've seen me play FF9, you've probably seen me show off the stutter step, because that's the only game I can do that reliably in. That was quick, Dakota. I do like the crab, though. I agree with that. Giant robe. Woo, I don't know what that means, but okay. Gotcha. Yeah, Crab is one of the extremely few Inner Sphere mechs I actually like, along with the Annihilator, the Bushwhacker, and I can never think of the name of it. I talked about it during the Battletech run. It's the one that was divined during the Steiner-Davion conflict, or Steiner whatever conflict. Hey, SJ. Ragu. Delicious, delicious ragu. I guess I could see that, Blue of Alex. I mean, I kind of get where you're coming from. I suppose for me, again, from a design perspective, I find myself wondering why they couldn't, and this is just a linear equation here, half the number of encounters and double the amount of experience, right? I mean, I know that doesn't actually apply linearly, but there are other ways to math out power progression curves without, you know, having the encounter rate be what it is. That's just my perspective on that, though. So the second part of my question, what do you think of the encounter rate we're seeing here, which is... I mean, it's pretty normal, if we're being honest. I'd estimate 8 to 12, having gone through this dungeon so far. 8 to 12 tiles. One thing I already say I'm going to like, and this is going to sound weird. Virtually every encounter has been giving me a potion. In fact, I think I'm net neutral on potions so far, despite using them semi-regularly. Which is weird from the Saga team. Usually the Saga team's more like, you want a potion? Screw you! There's a strange room ahead, and I heard a voice. We'll check it out. Okay, take care, bro. Bye. I'm just going to go ahead and say this right now. This whole game is probably going to be a decent AMA section every time I hit a dungeon. So if anybody has any thoughts, comments, or questions about anything at all whatsoever, this is probably going to be a good time for that. There's only so much I can say about doing the same encounter over and over. It is reasonably quick. Enemies take an average of 2 hits to bring down at the moment, and only do a minuscule amount of damage to me. Am I playing this on the Switch? How would I play this on the Switch? Who do I think is going to die in endgame? Everyone. No, I've already given my theory on that, honestly. I think it's going to be the original 6. Hey, save. Favorite laser beam of death color? Honestly, I've always been partial to like that thing where they make it like a combination of white, really light blue, and purple. You know what I mean? I don't actually see that color combo often. Maybe it's a more common thing in anime. I don't know. But yeah, I think the original 6 are going to die in endgame. That's just my take on that. It's the most logical thing. Not only is the entire tag for the game, or excuse me, for the movie, whatever it takes, but they're also the only ones who are definitively spared in the last game, or last movie. Damn it. Rain? Oh my gosh. It's really raining. That's amazing. We haven't seen rain in the Eastern Continent as long as I remember. It's so dry, a massive desert's been forming in over the years. That's smooth exposition right there. It's been a long time since this area last saw rain, too. That's why it's always so humid here. There's nothing here. Come on, let's go back. Or is there? It's the legendary Rudra of the Giants. Hard to see what's so legendary about a big hunk of rock. Scion, wait! Damn it, Adam. I always knew you were secretly evil. Hello, Fuzzy Duck. Good morrow. You might want to take a look behind you. Humans? I should be asking you. You have anything to do with the other giant we ran into earlier? Other giant? Cert, he's here? That's the guy. I got a score to settle with him. He mildly irritated me. Cert imprisoned me. I fear he may have lost his mind. So you're not on friendly terms, huh? A poor joke. I guess that's a no, then. Sure, I'll release you. Why not? My name is Tour. Oh, ha ha ha, Sir Tour. So where'd this Cert run off to? I have to warn you, he will not prove an easy opponent. Yeah, no kidding. He only went and took out my eye last time we met. If he has managed to find the Ark, he could be anywhere. No sweat, we'll help you track him down. First things first, though, I gotta be in Danelf by tomorrow. There's an important tournament coming up, and I just can't afford to miss it, even for personal revenge. We'll take you back to Cyrene Castle for the time being. As you wish. The giant joins you, and everyone's being kind of chill about a species that's extinct. And we just met 2 of them. And yes, Loki totally killed Surt the other day. Yes, I have played several of the Shin Megami Tensei and Persona games, Pit Kiss. Not really my things, though. It's very much a coffee kind of thing. So it's a villager? I'm gonna go with a villager. Who disturbs my slumber? Could it be our creator? I cannot believe it. That old fossil's still alive? Impossible! He looks tough. My temple, desecrated by mere humans. This insult cannot stand. Boss fight! I am Mace Man! Okay. I got this, guys. Whatever, just attack. You dare awake me from my slumber. How dare you? Well, I think they're trying to make him look like a giant in the same sprite limit as everyone else, and it's not... Like, they did some weird things with his sprite to make it work. I'm sure that they fell or became evil at him. And we'll find them later, and we'll kill them. Whoop, 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 hang on. Well, full memory, that's good. As it should be. Destruction! I will destroy everything. You shall be shattered for eternity. So are we going to stay shattered, or are we going to keep shattering for eternity? Because it's kind of an important distinction. I'm just wondering. I mean, if we're shattered for eternity, that's actually not too bad. But if we're going to, you know, be shattered for eternity, that would really suck. I will destroy everything. You should be shattered for eternity. I feel like you already said that. So that's a attack call, I take it. God, we have no mana. You see that? Well, he has no mana. He has like 28. The warrior dude has like 6. I'm curious why we all have the same spell book, but I'm not going to question it. Uh-oh. This might be the legendary ogre battle, guys. Someone the other day told me that ogres are a big deal in Japanese mythos. Maybe that's why the ogre battle series made such a big deal about the ogres. I don't know. Because the ogres were basically just like a group, you know? Not actually ogres. Hey guys, I think we are insolent fools. I get a hunch anyways. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's getting darker red as I hit him. I'm not sure how much more red he can get. I guess we'll find out. Well, shoot. So anyways... Oh yeah, unskippable cutscenes. Let's just jot that down. As per usual, unskippable cutscenes. Yeah, I think you're right, Dakota. I guess I should be bracketing these. And dropping my controller. It's my favorite thing to do, really. Yes, Japanese-only game, Fuzzy Duck. Came out in 96. Kind of got its own thing going on. Made by some of the less star power Squaresoft people, but, you know, whatever. This is what I mean by unskippable cutscenes, by the way. This whole thing is right before a boss fight. I mean, come on. Point made, you know. As I've said many times, Adam, the first game I can think of with skippable cutscenes was Ninja Gaiden on the NES. So, even ignoring the overall main point, there's no excuse. None. I once heard someone say, why would you ever want skippable cutscenes in a story-based game? To which I just started laughing. So here we are again. Jesus. You know what, hang on. And then we died, but then we started over again. We put her in the back row. Okay. Yeah, like I said, Dakota. Really? That's your argument? I think you're right, Blue Wolf Alex. I am still willing to give FF4, the SNES version, a pass, but that is the only one. And I think, and we talked about this the other day, I really do think that's more of a fluke than a design choice. I mean, there's only one Telltale game I've ever wanted to replay. And I actually do want to replay that someday. Never gonna get to. But it'd be nice. Probably worth noting, by the way. And yeah, I know you hate me for saying this phrase, Dakota, but we have been Korean methoding through this. I have not escaped a single encounter. In fact, I actually went through a couple areas just to make sure, you know, not twice, but just to make sure I got all the treasure. So I haven't been avoiding anything. I am at the quote-unquote correct level for right now. So as you say, if this was the supposed to grind moment, then it really is stop and level rather than, you know, I am below the power curve. I'm not willing to judge it for that based on the first boss in the game, but I gotta admit, this is not impressing me. I'm actually sad. I don't remember who requested this one and who paid for it. I remember a couple people, I think it was like one or two guys, put aside most of the money for this one, you know, by themselves. We're doing a bit more damage this time. So, you know, that's something. Nobody's dead yet, so that's nice. Is it just me? Or is the targeting thing, like, hard to see? Like, I know it's a big white hand, but something about that is not distinct. I don't know what it is. Is that just me? Honest question. Oh, hey, we won. Whee! Well, we killed the Giant's creator. Well, I mean, that's kind of become a meme at this point, hasn't it, Adam? How many times have you seen such and such decided to grind up all the way to max level in the tutorial area? Like, I've seen that in MMOs and RPGs. But you have taken a villager's Jade? What are you mumbling to yourself over there? Nothing, nothing. Everything's cool. Looks like we heal on leveling, although we do not get MP back on leveling, so that's interesting. Sure. Here, have an ogre mace. That's barely better than your fists. That's sort of sad, really. Strength increased. I opened a chest. I feel stronger. Increase your strength. Bram? Bram? Allow me to give you a lift. You're on. It would have been impossible. Ah, Valerian, you're back. It's time to stab you. Did you fund this run? I was trying to remember who funded it, and I fail. Of course there's encounters on the way out. What do you think this is? Earthbound? Or the game we just played yesterday? Aha! I knew it! So you were one of, like, the two people. I wasn't keeping records back then, so I don't actually know who donated for this. I only have vague memories. Actually, yes, Adam. Once ever in my entire life I have done that. And I am never doing that again, because it was boring and stupid. And I mostly did it just so I could tell my friends I did it. It took me weeks. Kind of did it while doing my homework, too, though. For anybody curious, the game in question was Final Fantasy VI. Before I hit Figaro, I had Terra and Locke at 99. But I was just thinking, Valerian, since I know you have also put money towards something else, which doesn't actually fit into any other classification of stream that I do, which is the Breath of Fire 2 retranslation stream you want me to do. I have no idea what I'm going to do with that. I mean, I'm going to do it. I haven't forgotten about it. It's part of why I'm telling you about it right now. God, that's horrifying, Leander. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts, people do that. FF15, I know someone did that. Most of the ones I know are MMO related. Well, I know this probably sounds strange to say nowadays, especially since one of the most common comments I get on my show is how crap I am at video games, but once upon a time I actually prided myself on being quite good at video games, and it was a point of pride to be able to prove that to other people and to myself. It's actually, this is going to sound really stupid. It's one of the things I like about the fact that in the Mega Man stuff, it will actually record your best run for the challenge mode stuff, so I can actually prove, hey, here was my gold run. I can show you it. Ah, well, Rostam and Huri were killed. Oh, well. Moving on. Yep, they're super dead. They're super dead. They fell off a cliff. There's no survival from that. They just vanished. Vanished into thin air. Ah, well, back to town. No, it's nighttime. Morning of the second day. Hi, Mihawk. Welcome. Our rooms cost 8 ragu. I lay out 8 plates of spaghetti. Still day 1. Good to know. Jesus, Leander. I'm usually closer to level 10 right about when I leave Alexandria. As in, the second time, fleeing from Alexandria. Like in Disc 2. A customer. Yes, that is me. Seriously, though, I know that, and there's valid reasons to say this, but I know a lot of people use the it's an older game argument. But I usually have at least one game I can point to where it's like, there, that's an example of a game that did convenience features even in an older game. Speaking of which, I was actually just about to point this out. No, Adam, I'm actually playing a SNES cartridge that I imported from Japan that I then attached the rejigger, I can't think what it's called, the reprogramming mod to it, to apply a patch to the physical actual cartridge, and then plugged that into my SNES, which I have connected to my... No, yes, of course I'm playing on an emulator. They are usually the outliers, but I stand by my statement. Like, the argument is usually... The counter-argument is usually, nobody could possibly do that. No one is... It's utterly impossible for someone to think of... Let me just use one example right off the top of my head. It's utterly impossible for you to allow you to equip items while in the purchase window. Earthbound. I want to get super drunk. Glug, glug, glug. Ah, cider. The smog isn't going to get better no matter what we do. What's causing smog? That being said, I also have to admit... That is true. I also have to admit that... I'll keep using Earthbound as an example. Earthbound would probably get a plus for its interface, because Earthbound actually has a surprisingly large number of convenience options just all over the place that were not industry standard at the time, but regardless of industry standard or not, are still good convenience features. You know, the kind of things that would be good in an RPG now, and some RPGs currently lack. I already know left. Thanks, though. What I tend to do, Leander, and I admit this is a really bad habit of mine, is I will not upgrade my equipment until I've actually gotten the previous equipment stuff all learned. And if you're just going through with the normal rate, then that means you're going to be like a level or two behind in equipment at all times. Let me in. Or don't. Seriously? You're not going to let me in. You're not going to let me in. The other thing is, as ever, I tend to strive to, you know, destroy nostalgia, because nostalgia must die. I'm kidding. No, but, you know, the whole point of reviewing these is to review these in the absence of nostalgia, which is why, for example, something that was, you know, an industry standard at the time, or wasn't an industry standard at the time, or wasn't common at the time, doesn't get a pass for me. It's one of the reasons I've said that many, many times. I mean, it's the very first time I ever did an in-depth classic. I said, I'm reviewing this as if this game came out today. Okay, so apparently there's another giant who came to, and I quote, terra firma, in a ship. Also, we've talked to several NPCs who have all said basically the same thing, aka that there's tons of pollution in the world, and there has been for as long as anyone can remember. Like, entire generations, plural, have been born and raised in a world in which the air is toxic and the sea is blech. Probably going to be a lesson somewhere in here about the perseverance of humanity, etc. Now here's an odd question, Blow Off Alex. Why don't you think that's fair? Hi, Chai Guy. Yeah, I'm actually kind of with the sprite work. It's not my favorite sprite work, but it's good. It's not as good as, say, Valkyrie Profile. But, you know. Let me in. Let me in. Seriously? I'm gonna have to wait till day, aren't I? I already slept at the inn. What do you want from me, game? Alright, back out. Nope, I can't bypass the town to get to the castle. What games have better sprite work than VP? A lot of Fire Emblem games on the GBA did. In fact, honestly, I just point to the GBA in general. The GBA had really good sprite work. In my opinion, some of the best sprite work ever. There are a few modern games that have really excellent sprite work, too. With a couple of exceptions, I would say Shovel Knight is an excellent example of good sprite work. I know there's other examples, I just can't think of any right now. I'm gonna have to move around, aren't I? Alright, fine. Oh, well, how do I get into the castle? Like, 3 people now have told me you need to go talk to the dude. Aha! I did not see that at all. Jesus. I would not have seen that if you had said that, Flarian. Oh. I've returned. Excellent. I am evil. No, we ran into some trouble at the tower. But I am incredibly evil. His Majesty awaits your report. Evil. I'm gonna laugh. I really am, if he actually is evil. There's a reason that became a trope. Timing of this tragedy could not have been more inopportune. FF6, Venters. I'm serious. The Chancellor of Figaro. Also, if we're being honest, Chrono Trigger, although I know that's actually both, but whatever. You cannot be serious. They're gone. Your eye's damaged beyond repair. There's nothing wrong with my eyes, sir. Mind your tongue, Scion. But it's true, I can still see. How is this possible? Is this Jewel? Jewel? Scion, your mentor was Captain Taurus. Put deeds to your words and challenge the tower. Your victory is all the proof we require. Wait, would I be allowed to participate as well? How dare you! You're in the presence of the king. I owe him debt for rescuing me. Yes, who better to avenge Huey and Rostam than another giant? Alright, sure. Go with Foxy and Giant Dude. I've actually, you'll be expected to obey regulations. I've actually commented on this before. I have a theory that one of the reasons so many GBA games have such excellent sprite work is because in the wake of the SNES era, when basically gaming developers kind of split into two branches graphically. Some people, console developers I should say, some people started working on, you know, the Mario 64s and the Crash Bandicoots, and some people applied all of the sprite work lessons they learned and made GBA games. It's just a theory. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, GBA games have excellent sprite work. What do you want from me? Alright, how do I get to the tournament? You, tell me how to get to the tournament. Well, he was available for questions, but he couldn't tell me how to get to the tournament. Yes, psychotic. The handhelds for Nintendo have always been kind of weird when it comes to how strong they are. The GBA is mostly as strong as the SNES, but it is weaker in a couple of areas, the most obvious one being the sound chip, which is just flat inferior. Like, objectively inferior. And, then the DS came out, which was better than the SNES, and kind of on par with the N64 in some ways, and actually better than the N64 in some ways. Then there's the 3DS, which is actually in some ways better than the PS2, and in other ways worse, and just, it's all over the place. And then there's the Switch, which is the best gaming console ever made. Any questions? Well, good morning, Aethel. I'm glad you're on vacation, and I'm sorry there's a fire. You want all my money? It's not that much, Cashel. I'm just going to warn you. I am not what you'd call super rich. Or well off, or anything, really. Okay, this is going to sound really strange, Blue Wolf Alex, but that sounds like you and I agree. Like, okay, let me use a direct example, right? Zelda 1, the original Legend of Zelda, is not that great of a game, in my opinion. I don't think it has aged particularly well. I think it is filled with flaws. It is entirely possible that when, because it's going to happen, we eventually do an in-depth classic on Zelda 1, it might even be a net negative game. That is a possibility. However, Zelda 1 was, oh god, I can't think of the word all of a sudden. The opposite of a codifier. It was an initiator. I can't think of the term for it, though. You know, it started a genre. It started a franchise. It deserves recognition and praise for how it launched, you know, the Zelda franchise, in addition to an entirely new concept in gaming. Like, arguably, adventure games all kind of branched out of The Legend of Zelda, to some extent or another. Obviously, Zelda was not the first game to do that kind of concept. But, you know, whatever. 1,000 ragu for a purifier. Wow. Good morning, Baron. I mean, you know, I'm just gonna get drunk at every bar. Another example would be Mega Man 1, which, again, is not that great of a game, in my opinion. It is a game that I don't think has aged particularly well, and has a lot of flaws to it, but gave us the Mega Man series, and initiated the Mega Man concepts, and blah, 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 blah. Actually, yes, Fuzzy Duck. Funnily enough, while I am an awful artist, and a terrible at everything person, one of the only things I ever felt like I was actually decent at designing was sprite work. Now, it takes time. Good sprite work takes time, at least the way I do it. But, yeah. I like doing sprite work. I like working with sprites. The very outline you are seeing on your screen right now, my overlay, is sprite work that I made. Was the smog always here? Yeah, I get it. Pollution. Ow. I mean, I've said that before, Casual, yeah, that I feel that Breath of the Wild is basically a modern take on Zelda 1. Okay, I could see that, Blue Wolf Alex. I do think it is very important to consider both aspects, just my opinion. It's just for my rating system, I'm specifically giving pluses and minuses as if it came out now, regardless of nostalgia, while at the same time acknowledging said nostalgia and, more importantly, innovation. That's the word, an innovator. Zelda 1 was an innovator. I know it started with an I. Well, we're discussing basically my review system for the entire in-depth classic section. And as I've said before, anytime where it's a clear case of technology, I tend to, you know, not denigrate a game for technology issues. You know, I'm not going to give... I actually don't have a good example of this, because it's never really come up. I'm not going to give this game a negative because it doesn't have full CGI cutscenes or whatever, right? It's actually a bad example because CGI cutscenes did exist at the time. Whatever, you get the idea. Well, I played Valkyrie Profile Lenneth, which was the PSP version, Aethel. It's the only one I owned. And the VOD will be going up on YouTube, I don't know when. I believe Sekiro is starting to go live now, so later, probably a few weeks. Wait, I'm sorry, what? Today's the first day of the Tower of Valiant Tournament. Tournament? I like that one, Tournament. So, for example, I'm not going to give the game a negative for the fact that that was misspelled. Obviously, this is a fan translation, so that doesn't even apply. However, if there was a huge number of spelling errors to the point where it was just sloppy and, you know, lazy, yeah, that would be a negative. Or to put it to this way, FF7 would not get a negative for translation and spelling errors, probably. Battle for Azeroth at launch would, to use a direct comparison there. Oh, one of the other things that needs to be mentioned, though. I'll talk about this next time I get into a combat section. Remind me to talk about the philosophy of reviewing, okay? Because it's something that I debate constantly with myself and you guys. Yes, I would like to save. Day 2 now. Is... Oh wow, actual directions. Holy crap. I'm actually surprised. In case you were noticing, by the way, all those people were basically waiting for us to show up. Like we were late or whatever. Is that really where you want to be, buddy? Disciple to Captain Taurus, undisputed swordmaster of Cryune. Scion! Yeah! So, the terms are relevant. We care only for the battle itself. A 3-on-3 match. It's the Nurgles. I have no idea what Nurgles are. Oh, they have chain swords, guys. And he's dead. Okay, and he's dead. Well, I've learned something important. They're not weak to fire. And we're dead. Okay. Post Aethel. This game was just basically coming out when FF7 was coming out. Like, FF7 came out a little bit after this. I'd have to look up exact dates. So we're gonna give that one more shot. See you around, Plouty. I hope you have a good one. And if you don't... Oh yeah, by the way, Plouty, this is your package right here, your replacement one. Now, I haven't actually printed out the new label yet, and like I said, I'm waiting for the shipping packages to show up, but yeah. That's funny, Dakota. So anyways, a game that is both a innovator and has aged well. See, the problem is Super Metroid was not an innovator. Not really. So it doesn't really count, right? Like, most innovators, like, statistically speaking, tend to be not really great. This is true for books, this is true for movies, it's true for shows, and it's true for games. I have a feeling I'm supposed to do this one-on-one, but we'll try this one more time, 3-on-3. What did Parasite Eve innovate? Honestly, I'm just gonna have him use that every turn. This is one of those fights that's gonna get a lot easier the moment something dies. They just hit so hard. They're just hitting me in the face. Ah, that's true, Chai Guy. So, game review theory. Or review theory in general. So, one of the old Okay, opinion. I don't think it's possible to objectively review something. I don't. Now, I know a lot of people have argued that point left and right for many years now. But it is my opinion that there's no real way to objectively review something unless it's something that isn't an artistic work. Like, you could probably objectively review a machine, a car, a piece of equipment, a camera, by just telling you this is what it can do, this is what it can't do, this is its capacity, because it's possible to be objective with such a thing. But when it comes to reviewing a game, a movie, a book, a show, I don't actually think it's within the realm of feasibility to do a truly objective review. My opinion. So that means, well, how do you do a review, right? Because, I mean, that's the alternative. Not reviewing things? That's insanity. So, that brings you to the idea of, oh wow, they're actually really weak to that. Hang on, let's have her do it next time. So that brings you to the idea of how exactly do you determine, oh thank god that missed, what to judge when it comes to review, right? Now, the reason this is relevant, and this is part of the whole thing I was just talking about, excuse me, is, let's just do this. Well, actually, no, let's do this, and then this, and then this. So, yeah, food is another good example of something that, while there are certain things you can objectively say about food, for the most part, food is going to be a completely subjective experience. I can tell you whether food is literally poisonous or not, whether it is literally nutritious or not, but that's about it, really. Exactly, Aethel. Like, if... Okay, he's just gonna kill him in the face. My main damage dealer and healer. That's excellent. Of course he's got an AoE. Why wouldn't he? That's okay, we won. I understand, Bloody. Go! He probably didn't get any experience for that, too. Yay. Flawless victory. No. What the? Wow. Magnificent. Sunlight. Many ages ago, the sun touched this planet in its entirety, but centuries of warfare and pollution created a thick shroud of smog that we've been talking about for, like, the last 2 towns. Because of your ancestors, many have not seen true sunlight until this day. So the smog is of our own making. Okay. The heavens themselves rejoice at this glorious victory. I don't think the heavens give a damn about some random Colosseum match, but what the hell do I know? I think that's supposed to be applause. Still, we're only just getting started. I think we can risk a little bit of optimism. Captain Taurus was the first person to win the competition in years. Yeah, you were magnificent. That's it? We just won? Alright, whatever. Thanks. Give me my sword. Yeah, I'm the victor. Give me my sword. Alright, whatever. Is he still dead? No, he got rezzed. Woo! Heal yourself. Daylight sure is bright. Why is the sky so blue? What's that black swarming mass? Not a cloud. Congrats, bro. You sure showed them. You missed the most amazing thing. This massive cloud of butterflies just swept past town a minute ago. Butterflies? Yeah, it wasn't even the amazing part. They were like eating the smog right up. I'd explain the sunlight. I never realized just how dark it was. What's the story, Doug? We've been scouring the whole continent, but no luck. About the only place we haven't searched is Mantra Peak. Are you kidding? Do you have any idea how high up that is? The king and Mistress Zora might have butted heads in the past, but there's got to be a reason he still respects her, right? There should be a path along the mountains to take you to her. Where'd you come up with this? Believe it or not, Pastor Miller told me. He mentioned Zora might have news of Captain Taurus, too. You should really go see what we can find out about her. News about the captain, huh? I'll get a boat ready for you. It'll be more in the east end of town. Okay, thanks. Bye. The pacing of the dialogue in this game is bizarre. Like, I know this is a fan translation, but is it just me? Alright, the victor! Oh my god, the sunlight! Yes, your ancestors blocked out the sun. So it was us who did it all along. Like, huh? Just jarring. Whee! Now let's pitch a tent in the canoe. Oh, excuse me. I was going somewhere with that whole review subjective objective thing. Oh, right. So it also comes down to basically what you value. Like, for example, obviously, you know, as I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to avoid nostalgia, but my choice to review a game as if it came out now is a choice. It's not a correct thing. It's not something I do that is the right decision. It's just the decision that I made, if that makes any sense. I imagine that if Blue Wolf Alex was doing his own in-depth classic series, he would be doing... anyways, that he would be keeping in mind issues of the time, right? Damn, there's no save point here. Whatever. Yeah. Any games that took innovative concepts and reinvented them and made more palatable? Yeah, that's usually what I call a codifier. Let me give you a direct example. Doom codified the first-person genre, the first-person shooter genre. That's an easy example. Doom was definitely not the first FPS at all. But Doom codified it. Doom was the one that was like, yeah, okay. Made it popular, took it, made it work, etc. You know. Arguably, the first Zelda codifier is actually LTTP on the SNES. Although, there are people who will argue that Ocarina was it. I would argue that Ocarina and LTTP were both codifiers in their own ways, because LTTP codified the ideas of Zelda 1 and 2, whereas Ocarina codified the ideas of LTTP. As far as the Grand Theft Auto series, I would personally actually say that San Andreas was a little bit better of a codifier, but that's just me. Well, see, now that's an interesting point, Aethel. Now, I am actually... I'm pretty harsh when it comes to interface. I don't know why. I don't have a good answer for that. I just really despise certain older interfaces in games. Probably because I am an idiot, I guess. I don't know. I don't have a good reason for it, like I said. But I've always been pretty harsh when it comes to interface, and pretty picky when it comes to interface. But the thing is, there are older games that can still have a good interface, you know what I mean? It is possible, even within the confines of older game design, to make an interface that's actually good. It may not be excellent, it may not be a plus, for example, but you can prevent an older interface from being bad. The same basic design concepts that exist now existed then as well. There's a reason UI 101 is fewer clicks the better. Really? I don't remember what the first CRPG really was, Baron. I'm not sure which actually came first. Although I think, I heard someone say it was actually Baldur's Gate 1 was the first, the innovator of the CRPG franchise, or concept, or whatever you want to call that. Would you please stop freezing and burning me? It's really mean. At least status effects go away at the end of fight, right? They go away at the end of fight, right? Yep, okay, we're good, we're good. Now we're starting to run out of medical herbs. We're out of the tutorial dungeon, guys. I know Baldur's Gate 1 was one of the earliest ones, though. No, honestly, the Ultima series isn't really a CRPG, in my opinion. Now, that is my opinion. Because... whatever. But... see, the problem is, I've played the Ultima games. The original Ultima games. You know, the ASCII art. You remember that? I have said many times that the Ultimate games, the old Ultimate games, are the example of sand before water. They were RPGs in the strictest sense of the word. If we ever did a actual in-depth classic, I hope we never do, in all honesty, of like one of the old Ultima games, I almost guarantee you that's going to come out as a massive net negative. Like, there's no way. There's barely any story. The story that's there is poorly translated, poorly presented. The gameplay concepts are all over the place. The game is actually player hostile in many different ways. Just, yeah, you know. No, not text adventures. The Ultima series was ASCII art. At least Ultima 1 was. I think 2 is when they started having graphics. Oh, hey, it's Zora. Hi, Zora. I am Scion, Captain Taurus' disciple. Huh? What is it brings you all the way out here? Well, we're looking for a ship, something out of the ordinary. Oh god, please no more cowbell. Everything alright? Ompros. Go to the town of Ompros. Talk to Nurk the merchant. We have to get there by boat, but if we do that, we're not going to go back in time for tomorrow's match. Ah, sweat. We'll just go after the match. That would be acceptable. He's still in the region. Got it. Okay, we're leaving. Jeez, lady. What? Hey! Stay out of there if you know what's good for you. Okay, I've got to know what's in there now. Aw, she's not going to let me in there. Aw. Okay. This gate carries the dead to the Netherworld. Is this the Netherworld? Does this look like the Netherworld to you? You can see me? Idiot, of course I can. Now hurry up and get back to where you belong. Okay. What was that? A freshly departed spirit. Netherworld passages exist in a number of locations around the world. Just my luck, Mantra Peak would happen to be one of them. Hardly a day goes by without some wayward spirit blundering in. It gets worse, too. We're nearing the end of the century. That means it's not just spirit, but monsters coming through the gate. So I'm here keeping watch, make sure nothing bad gets out. Show until it's over. Get back to the main room. Okay, jeez. Yeah, there's no exit spell. I just get to leave. That exit spell existed by this point in history. Just saying. Hell, in the 1, 2... By the time you get to the 3rd dungeon in FF4, you have access to the warp spell, which is the poor man's version of the exit spell. Well, hopefully these levels will help us with our next match. That's all I can say about that. Anyway, so getting back to my point about the review thing. Who's it feature, though, Baron? You are truly mad, Aethel. God, I had a main point there I was trying to make. It was in direct response to something Blue Wolf Alex said. No kidding, Aethel. Yeesh. Yeah, that's what I thought. I hate to point this out, but you'll notice the song is actually starting over every time we go out of combat. That is also something that we have fixed by this point in history, tech-wise, so... Well, that's kind of not cool. In fact, it drives me nuts in some cases. Especially on FF7 on the Switch. That's a joke I hope at least some of you get. Jesus, Aethel, how is that even possible? Then again, I knew someone who actually broke the timer in FF6. If you don't know what I mean by that, the hour counter stops counting after a certain time. After your save file gets so high, it just stops. I think I still have that save, actually. On one of my 3 SNES cartridges of FF6. Is there no inn here? Hey, Adam, too. My allergies are conspiring to prevent me from saying hi to Zeiss. Oh, there's the inn. I see it. I see it. Hi, Zeiss. And what's funny? It's funny you said this is a dry country. There's a tavern right here. Okay. No respect. Up to day 3 now. Heh. I mean, I remember a lot of the old game rumors from back in the day. For there were many. I already got drunk, so I don't need to do that. What about this person? A water bar? Pfft. What kind of bar is that? I prefer hydrogen bars myself. I have no idea, Baron. I suppose it's probably more accurate to ask, why did it come into favor in the first place? Hello. Probably Arcus. I suppose that qualifies as take a drink. Always buy weapons first. Yeah, I'm not super up or down on the music so far, if I'm being honest. Oh, hey, we do have... I was so used to not being able to L and R through stuff that, I forgot I could do that, so yay! The best offense is a good defense. I don't think anyone says that. Damn right, Agamemnon. Glug, 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 glug. No, yeah, that's not even worth the money. It's a big robe. I'm a big man and I need a big cereal. Put her there. I meant your wallet. Sorry, that's a really dumb reference. I've lost my train of thought on the review thing. I'm sorry, guys. I was just trying to bring up something about, you know, the objective, subjective thing, and trying to talk about, we have to decide what we value. Like, for example, if I review things from a purely subjective perspective, I would, for example, have given Sekiro far more negatives because I didn't like the game. Now, I personally don't think that is a good thing to do because I'm trying to be as fair as possible in my review system. But it's also worth noting that my review system also doesn't really acknowledge certain things like Blue Wolf Alex's point. For example, as I already said, Zelda 1 would probably be a net negative game, which many people would probably look at and just be like, huh? So, I guess the only point I have to make left, that I remember anyways, is that there's no perfect review system. There's just trying to do the best I can. I do like the pluses minuses system. There's a reason I use it. It's just whatever. I'm ready for the match. We're fighting Amatistas. Backtracking depends on how it is done, in my opinion, Aethel. I have actually said many times, there's good backtracking, and then there is bad backtracking. And it's really easy to tell the difference between the two. Good backtracking is when basically something changes when you go back through. Maybe you have a new ability that allows it to go by quicker. Maybe something has changed, so there's different enemies there, or different story events happen. Maybe it's made quicker because an event occurs, or the terrain is altered, something. Bad backtracking is going back through the same area with no variance whatsoever. Or very, very little variance. Going back through the same area, but you happen to be slightly higher level, that's bad backtracking. IMO. Oh no, we're fighting mermaid women? I don't know. The second battle. We'll be fighting with weapons, I guess. Because we just bought a new sword. That hurt. Can we use items at least? We can use items. Okay, so let's do this. And then this. And this. How far into this game do you think I'm going to be able to get without actually stopping and grinding? Any guesses? I like the item use animation, by the way. I don't like how he's dead. That's not cool. Put on rest for this one. Get up. I never actually beat Donkey Kong 64, so I can't really speak to the backtracking in that game. Very carefully, Takoida. I'm serious, I was just more careful with my healing, and a lot less on my offense. However, we are now out of heals for this fight, so... Attack, attack, attack. This is do or die. There's nothing else I can do. There's no more strategy I can accomplish here. Thankfully, RNG is working out pretty well. Well, so far the scenario system is the big thing out of Memnon. Like, there's 3 scenarios, and near as I can tell, I can just switch between them. I just be like at will, effectively. And when I say at will, I mean I'd have to save and then go back to menu and then do it, but yeah. Also, if I die, I can do it too. Ooh, do we get another peak of sunlight? Or random awkward exposition. Yeah, 1,000 ragu. 1,000 plates of spaghetti. And a life leaf. Nobody knows the tower's summit. We don't even know what the last opponent is like. How do you not know the last opponent of your tournament? And of course, the obvious answer is they do. They're just being coy. Nobody knows who the mysterious stranger is. Yeah, whatever. I guess there's also the mantra system, which, honestly, I haven't been able to actually do anything with. I keep waiting for that to be, like, opened up at some point. Like, right now I have spells, but I don't have the mantra system. Also, we're probably not going to defeat God with the power of friendship. Hopefully. What am I doing? Going the wrong way. Ah. Damn it, Mihawk. Yeah, I don't know how to actually do that at all. The whole mantra. I mean, I only have 4 words total so far. I don't think I could do Iglef, for example. I don't know. Whatever. Oh my god, it's Potato! Oh, hang on. My back's really giving me issues today. Ah, there we go. Ah, thank you very, very much, Potato. As ever. Much appreciate those subs. Now, if you'll give me a moment, I will jot that down as requested. If I could find the document. There we go. There we go. So noted. And thank you again, Potato. Okay. Now we gotta chart a ship. Cheese bear, that sounds fun. And by fun, I mean... Damn it, hydration butt. I can't reach my drink. I really can't. I should probably move it closer. There we go. It's Pastor Miller, also known as the last boss of the tournament. Tournament. So it's not only a church, it's a orphanage, which means it might be one of the only fictional orphanages ever which isn't a horrible, denigrating place of doom. Thanks. Thanks. This statue was given us by King Sarun himself. I'm told it was originally found on top of the Tower of the Valiant. Both tower and statue are some 20,000 years of age. That's pretty impressive. Whatever stone they made that out of. You are not welcome here. You are not welcome here. You are not welcome here. Welcome here are you not. Here welcome not, you are here. Not welcome. It's the Axis Knight! No! These German bastards. Okay. That's a lot of armor for one place to sell. Obviously, we're going to go with the Hector armor, though. I mean, come on. I mean, what else would we wield? I'm not actually sure I've ever played the Banjo series at all. I'm really not. Like, I just kind of, without really intending to, just sort of skipped over, like, that entire era of gaming. Enjoy the grocery getting, Aethel. I'm actually not sure where to go next. I know what I need to do. I need to charter a boat to head to the other place I've forgotten the name of. But what I do not know is how to charter a boat. I went to the church. That was nothing. Do I have, like, a map? Nope, of course not. Hello, Voxbot. You ever play this one? Because I haven't. Let's try the other town. See if there's a boot over there. Whoops. Didn't mean to go Baron Castle there. God, the town's becoming less and less safe by the day. I'm sure it'll be fine. Well, it never came out outside of Japan. That's actually a Y, isn't it? Not a V. I'm sorry, so Yoxbot. So it's not really super surprising you've never heard of it. I'm weirded out by the graphics direction of this game. Like, it's not bad, but a lot of the graphics seem kind of simplistic. Now, that being stated, it makes sense. Remember what I said about the game basically being thrown together because, you know, because several of the people were just not working on something else and wanted to make a game. So it kind of makes sense. It's just, weird. Oh, hello, I think I see it. I see it! I see it! The waiting room. Clearly this is where I want to go. Oh my god, the pollution in the northern continent is horrible. You're polluting the world, humans. It's actually not humans. It's the evil demons that are polluting the world. What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet? Aha! That is a very small world map. Wow, we have already basically explored 1/3 of the world. And then we're attacked by Leviathan. No? Well, thanks for telling me where the new... I mean, this game has a weirdly large amount of dialogue telling you where to go. I guess that's actually normal for Squaresoft games of this era. I tend to forget that sometimes. I mean, you know how that goes, right? You enter town and everyone's like, did you know that this dude was over there? I heard this dude was attacking himself. I heard over there is a place where bad things happen. And, you know, 3 seemingly unrelated dialogues mean, aha, I need to go over there and talk to a dude to advance the plot. You know, that kind of a thing. Which has been done to varying degrees of quality over the years. Aw. Oh, those were chamber pods. Okay, that makes sense. He's gone to the ruins of Tulia. Where are the ruins? You'll find them at the summit of Mount Delphi, north of here. Excuse me, sir. Hey, it's Serlant! That's actually kind of weird. Apparently they do research on the Lago Stones. Alright, hang on. Yep, there's Serlant. We will have to take that risk, then. Why do you wish to travel to Fall? We're looking for a kidnapped child. We believe it may have been taken there. And then Serlant takes a boat. Is that available on the PC, Baron? Alright, we need to do something like right now. We need to go into a left turn into Weirdsville here. Okay, so we're on day 3, okay? That's important. Now, let's go ahead and get a safety save in. Let's get another safety save in there. And then let's hope that this works the way it should. Here we go. Perfect. Meanwhile... $39.80. Touring an expedition to the Tower of the Giants, Dr. Wench discovers a stone monolith at the tower's summit. Embedded within the ancient stone lay a creature of unknown origin. Wench named this monolith the Lago Stone. $39.99. 19 years have passed since Dr. I don't know how to pronounce that's discovery. Now on the eve of the coming millennium, Dr. Blob discovered a new Lago Stone in the Dragon God ruins. And then it started talking to him. A Logostone, huh? That is the reptile race, if I'm any judge. The carving on the surface appears to be a creature called a Rudra. All in all, the power of this stone is formidable indeed. Do you feel it too, Servant? Indeed, particularly around the small jewel set into the carving itself. We still have a lot of work left to do on the inscriptions proper. Once translated, they may be able to tell us more about it. This thing's giving me the creeps. Are you sure we ought to be taking this back to the lab in Avdol? If it's as powerful as you say it is, I already considered that fact. My old friend, Lord Eremia, has a powerful artifact in his possession. Its powers should be able to dampen the Logostone's innate energies. Is this stone as old as the last one? Older still! The Giant's Logostone dates back only 8,000 years. This one is nearly 12,000 years old. How do you know? Like, do they have carbon dating in this universe? That's a 4,000 year difference. I could do math! Think those old myths are true then? The ones about the 4,000 year cycle of creation and destruction? If so, my studies have yet to show conclusive proof of it, other than the fact that we have no history from before 3,999 years ago, and the world's going to hell right now. But yeah, no, everything's cool. As far as any cataclysm's concerned, it's only a matter of time, really. You believe the myths, then? Who needs ancient mystical beasts? Between the air and the water pollution, we're doing a fine job ourselves. Yeah. No, gentlemen, if our destruction looms, it is by our hands alone. At any rate, go to Eremia. Ask him for the Holy Grail on my behalf. Very well. Take care, you. Eremia's Grail is beyond priceless. If something were to happen to it, you might have a terrible accident. That carving up there looks kind of familiar. Oh, it's the Jade Sigil. As a symbol, it predates all known races. Look, FF5 is awesome potato, but this game actually shares some sprite work from FF5, so I figured it would be an appropriate thing to put in the background. You might have remembered it from the Logostone. The Rudra has the same sigil carved in that jewel of his. Is this sigil found on all Logostones? Maybe we should wait with questions until we get back. Lord Arami is practically a legend around here. Wait till you see his place. Oh, exit the ruins and head west. Yeah, I know, I've been there before. Zoom, 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 zoom. So what do you have? Tauna, Taulus, Nihi, Pra, Lef, and Lefna. X64 means a 64-bit system, Baron, that's all. It's the weirdest lightning spell I've ever seen. It's like attacking with static charge, which actually is a spell in Diablo 2 now that I think about it, so whatever. Meanwhile, at a place I didn't mean to go to... Whoops. Welcome to the port town of Oriab. Is there one of you in every town? Yes. How do you get this job? We draw straws. Well, okay then. Aha, southwest of here. To the manor. Which is actually this way. Of course the Lord of the Manor is going to be way over there. It's okay, Baron. It deserves them all. She has a gun. I'm trying to get a feel for the technological progress of this setting. Like, the ships look like steam ships from what I was looking at earlier. What? This is Lord Eremia's manor. Oh, yes, the Lord is wonderful and amazing. In every way. Oh my god, that was a real yawn, sorry. Thanks to the Grail, we have nothing to fear from monsters. Oh, Serlant, I expect the doctor sent you. Come for the Grail, have you? In some maps, yes, Baron. In other maps, very much no. I forget the lowest number, but in some maps in Mario 64, the total amount of coins that is totally possible in the entire map is like 106. It's awful. Dr. Mensch requires it for his research. The terrible energy of the Lago Stones, eh? Yes, sir. Then there's no way around it. Can't have that old fool risking life and limb in the name of research, eh? Provided you promise to take good care of it, take the Grail. The most incredibly useful artifact in the known universe that literally keeps the area safe and protects us from demons. By all means, take my most priceless treasure. Why is this a thing? That he's just... I'm telling you, the pacing of this game is just... It's hard to get a handle on. Yeah, sure, you can take this priceless artifact. Oh no, it's being stolen by... a boy in red. I am shocked by this development. Guards, where the heck are the guards? What do I pay you people for? Sir, you don't pay us anything. God damn it! Good night, Adam 1. Have a good one. This is the second scenario to basically start with a chase. Do you notice that? Suicide's the only answer! Raining? What are we gonna do now, boss? The heist's gone bad to worse. Ah, live systems. Come on, Dune. That's Dune. Do something, they're coming, they're coming! You lousy, thieving scumbags! That Grail's a public treasure. Return it immediately. Thieving? We're treasure hunters. Yeah, I get it. No, you're not. Men of refinement and taste. You somehow escaped the dogs that were encircling them. Also, this is when the rain is happening. Oh my gosh. That's so strange. Same rain at the same time. I fear they've escaped, my lord. Don't worry about it. Those good-for-nothing guards are to blame here. Let's hope the doctor's study will not be hampered by this. Don't worry, I'll find Dr. Blob immediately. Let's go back to the doctor. Where did that come from? 15 days remaining until the cataclysm. See, we save over the same thing. This is kind of unique. Like, this scenario system. This is why I immediately switched to Serlant, because you'll notice Serlant walked into Scion's Arc back in Day 3, and I kind of want to see if we then play that section for that, because that's actually kind of cool. Like, that might be a story positive, depending on how well they pull that off. Interweaving stories are harder to do than they sound, so I'm with it, you know. Wow, Takoida. Yeah, my reaction would probably be something along the lines of, what? Gotta emphasize the H there. What? Yeah, it really is kind of all over the place, Leander. I agree. Oh, I guess this is our official first dungeon. Okay, so let's do... We've got Earth damage, but only Earth 1. That's an expensive spell. Oh, nope, that is an AoE. Okay, let's try that. Welcome back, Dartrinius. I'm trying to think of another RPG that's done something like that to quite, and I'm not coming up with something. Okay, this hurts. Let's do this. Really, Darth Trinius? Then I'm afraid you must be destroyed. It's okay, Darth Scion is in the other story arc. I'm not even kidding about that. I mean, obviously it's not Darth Scion, but it is Scion. So yeah, I can already tell you that this party is a little bit weaker than the other one. The other party was Warrior Rogue. This party is Mage Rogue. And anyone will tell you that's not as good as a combo, at least starting out. I agree, Yoxpod. This kind of, like, interweaving scenarios would be a great addition to Octopath. Considering Octopath has many issues. I really feel like I'm the only person in the world who didn't like didn't lick Octopath Traveler's boots. And I hate to say that, but I hear so much praise for that game. It's weird to me. And again, not avoiding encounters. That would probably work better, Dakota, you're right. But yeah, in a system like this, I mean, there's a reason there's the old phrase, melee is king when it comes to JRPGs. Oh, that's a spell. We are leveling fast. Yeesh. Not that I'm complaining. Now that being said, I think they could have made Octopath into a truly amazing thing. They just didn't, in my opinion. What lies beyond is the glorious legacy of a race. Okay. Sorry. Just testing something. Obviously, it does not want me to go this way. Got it. I will agree that we have a little bit of a dearth of JRPGs in the modern era. Like, we've had Octopath, Bravely Default 1 and 2, Dragon Quest XI, FF15, and the two Tokyo Factory games I can't think of the name of, and that's basically it for like the last 4 or 5 years. It was a bit of a dry spell. What's funny is I have issues with basically every game on that list. With every game on that list. Although one of those was a really awesome game. Dragon Quest, excuse me. More levels. This is getting kind of silly here. We're leveling too fast, guys. That's very suspicious. Let's just do this. I don't know. Yuckspot. Yep, that's what I figured. Just wondering. Balna, attack! I am Setsuna, that was one of them. God, I couldn't think of the name of it. And Project Sphere, I think, was the other one? It was something weird. I remember that. I actually will not talk about my thoughts on emulation on camera. It is too dangerous of a topic to even cover in an open environment. So I have never actually given my thoughts on emulation openly, and I probably never will. So I guess I could explain a little bit. That's my thoughts on emulation. Well, Doctor, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but thus the Grail was stolen. Stolen? Well, no matter. But surely the energy of the stone... I haven't finished talking yet. Listen, you. The Grail is part of a set of 3 relics called the Sealing Receptacles. The Sealing Receptacles, excuse me. Each receptacle contains a bound Netherworld spirit, which empowers it. So there are still 2 others like it? Exactly, exactly. Your master should know where the other receptacles are. Then I shall confer with him, and kill him in his stupid face. Be snappy about it. As long as that stone remains unshielded, we're all in grave danger. We really going all the way to Thor Volcano to see Solon? Sounds like we better hit my dad up for his boat again. Is he still in his laboratory? Maybe we should talk to him now. Dad, laboratory, volcano. Let's do it. My rumination on Trails of Cold Steel hasn't gone live yet, right? Oh, totally, Takota. He's definitely legit. Yeah, you guys can talk about emulation all you want, if you guys want to talk amongst yourselves about it. I'm just not going to join that conversation. Too dangerous. The world is a scary enough place without having legal issues, you know what I mean? Hey, Zero. How do I get over there? Oh, goody. Smog rain. That's a thing, I guess, now. How do I get over there? Oh. Okay. Well, all I'm going to say is that I had thoughts on the high school element of it. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to tease you for it because I want you to watch the video. I don't even remember when that goes live. It's on the website. When are you going to stop creeping around ruins and stop making a real living, boy? We are not having this discussion again. It's my life. How I choose to live it is my business, not yours. We have need of your boat. Very well, go and take it. It's a good thing you don't mind. Ungrateful brat. Your lucky servant at least has some manners. I appreciate your assistance, Doctor. Now give me your very soul. There you go, in August. Yeah, I've already finished it, obviously. This seems safe. Wait, wasn't that the third group of characters? Hang on, we gotta switch again. Welcome to the Thor volcano. I will say this about Trails of Cold Steel, and I'm not going to spoil anything, don't worry. After concluding it, my first thought was, oh god, I want to play the next one. Now, I couldn't, obviously. It was an impossibility, but damn it. Actually, that's probably... So, lightning? We'll try lightning. Earth, weak to lightning. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. It's okay, it's fiction lava, Tibigo. You know, the kind that completely avoids convection. Or I think it's convection. I might be thinking of the wrong thing, but you know, the transference of average molecular motion. It's a Thor's knot. Yeah, sure. Yep, that works. Earth, weak to air. Or lightning, or whatever. I like the total lack of music here. It really adds to the atmosphere by making me constantly aware of the fact that there's no music playing. I like how in this, you'll notice in the last scenario, we were getting lots of potions every battle. This scenario, we're getting a lot of ethers every battle. I feel like that's on purpose. Call me a weirdo. Don't actually call me a weirdo. So what changes it? Sorry, I've been trying to figure out a mechanic for a while now. I'm trying to figure out what determines turn order. Because it's like FF3, which actually is probably my least favorite turn-based style game. But what I mean, I don't mean FF3 in particular, but that approach to turn-based combat is one of my least favorite approaches. It's when you put in all your actions, and then the actions happen in an uncertain order. Like, you don't really know what order things are going to happen in. Okay. Now, the one thing I've noticed is if you look in the lower right, there's an indicator saying who of our party is going to go before the others. So we know that Legan is going to go first. We just don't know who's going to go when with regards to the enemy. But every now and again, he goes first. Laurent, or whatever his name is. I'm trying to figure out what is actually changing that. Unless it's just based on stats, and the level ups is what's changing the turn order. If anybody knows anything about this game, please feel free to indicate. I'm just going to pay attention to it otherwise. You'll also notice these enemies are giving a significantly smaller portion of X than the earlier ones were. Or we just need more experience to level, one of the two. Really? Really? Fine. God dang it. Somebody hit me with a question or topic, or give me something to talk about. Please, save me from this dungeon. I mean, this isn't to the point of being actually boring or aggravating yet. I'm pretty sure we'll get there. But I always feel extremely weird when I have nothing to say on stream. I'm just sitting here like, well, I'll also just mute the mic. I had one viewer say that they would totally like to see me go and actually level, legitimately through some of these older RPGs. And I have to be honest, I don't understand why. As ever, personal taste is a thing, and I get that different people like different things, but the idea of just watching someone level being appealing is something that I don't understand it. I can't even begin to process that. Sealed chest that you have to come back to later in the game. Well, we actually already talked about backtracking earlier, so I suppose that really gives my answers on that. Now, that being said, it can be done well or poorly, just like any kind of backtracking can. So it kind of depends on how they do it, I'd say. Ah, that's what this means. So I can manually specify turn order, I can reset action order at the end of battle, or I can automatically reorder by speed stats. Interesting. Yes?
There's a package for you.
Really? Is there any chance I could get you to give it to me, please?
Yes.
Please. Please. Oh, God, please give me the package. Oh, okay. Oh. Thank you for the package. You're the best. Oh, have fun. Have a good day.
Okay, I love you. Bye.
I love you too, kiddo. She's the best. Like, in the whole world. I don't know if you're aware of this. So, like, to use a direct example to Big O, let me finish answering your question. A game that had sealed chests that you can go back to that I actually kind of liked, Chrono Trigger. Now, the reason I kind of liked that was because they're present from quite literally the beginning of the game. If you go into the inn in the name of the town I can't think of the name of, and Poor, I think. No, that's the wrong town. Anyways, if you go to the inn in the intro town, the town you start in, there's a sealed chest there. And if you interact with it, it says it's sealed by a mysterious power. In other words, it tells you, it puts it in your mind, basically. It does the Metroid thing. It makes you think, huh. And you just kind of mentally flag that for later. And then much, 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 much later, spoiler alert, when you get the pendant, it's like, aha, I can open these things now. And then you can go back and see what you remembered. Now, here's the key point, though. The overwhelming majority of those chests are not in irritating places to get to. You don't have to go through a lot of random encounters. You don't have to dig through halfway through a massive dungeon. It's just, bam, you go back, you get the item, right? Make sense? So it's not irritating backtracking, and it kind of rewards you for remembering it. Oh, now I can cross the magma. Why couldn't I do that earlier? So that's my answer to that question. Are potatoes tasty? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love potatoes. What is the meaning of life? Well, the meaning of life is that every individual needs to decide what the meaning of life is for them, and then try to adhere to that to the best of their capacity. A game that I've played recently that I have... Wait, hang on. A game that I've played recently that I haven't before, that I liked but didn't think I would. Resident Evil 2 PR, does that count? I mean, honestly. Well, a lot of stuff in Chrono Trigger was actually kind of experimental and unique for it, so that kind of makes sense. But yeah. If that doesn't count, what's another game that really surprised me? I mean, Yakuza 0 surprised the hell out of me. I really wasn't expecting to like that game as much as I did. Frostpunk was really good. Like, I cannot praise Frostpunk enough. That was an awesome game. Use the fire thing that you have. That you just used. Seriously, game? Really? Alright, fine, whatever. Oh, I agree. I have to honestly say I really... It's one of my favorite things when I walk into a game thinking, eh, and I walk out of the game thinking, oh, that was awesome. Unlike seemingly half the internet, although I know that's an exaggeration, I don't actually like being disappointed by a game or disliking a game. I know, weird. So, Yoxbot asks, does seeing guns in fantasy setting make you question the use of sword lances? Not really. For me, it's always just been kind of a, yeah, okay, thing. I mean, if you think about it, the reason guns are used nowadays instead of swords is because they are an equalizer. Now, that makes a degree of sense, but if you actually go back and think about it logistically speaking, there's a reason why guns didn't actually enter widespread usage until about 2 centuries ago, I'd say. Maybe 4, if you want to stretch that. You know, 18 or 1700, excuse me. Or is that 1800s? No. Hey, it's Solon. How progresses your research? Our discoveries are continuing apace. We've discovered a second Lago stone. 1800. I was right. 1800s. And then things are proceeding as I foresaw. Indeed. But the reason I bring that up, in case you're not aware, is guns have been around for a lot longer than that, in some form or another. But once guns became a little bit more stable and reusable, then guns became actually feasible to use. And the further on we get, the worse it gets. I mean, I don't want to get into the modern life gun control argument because that's a controversial topic, but there's a reason why a pistol is an equalizer. And I know that sounds like a weird statement, but imagine, just picture for a moment, if pistols didn't exist. Like, it wasn't even a concept. So the only guns you could get is like shotguns or assault rifles or, you know, regular hunting rifles, you know, pump action kind of stuff, right? In that case, guns wouldn't be quite as much of an equalizer, because it's actually pretty hard to use a shotgun or an assault rifle. Marksman rifle is a little easier, but you get the idea, right? But a pistol, this is a joke. Anyone can pick up a pistol and kill someone with it, as long as they have even the most basic level of understanding of what they're doing. Now, I bring that up, again, I don't want to get into a real-life topic. I bring that up because in fiction, the way they usually, if they're doing it well, the way they usually portray guns is if they are something that is basically a cooldown thing. In other words, it's a big, powerful thing that can do a lot of damage right now, but is something that takes a while to use, or takes some training understanding to use, or takes a while to reload, and so forth and so on, right? Now, I will freely admit that most fantasy fiction doesn't portray that properly, but occasionally they do it well. So, for the most part, I just kind of gloss over it. Master, what ails you? A premonition, a terrible vision. It was dire, dire. We ran out of ho-hos. Our destruction, a power which we cannot trumpet. The Lago stones hold the key. We must find the Lago stones. I cannot tell you more, save that the stones hold our future. What should we do? We must go to the world, pursue the stones. Only then we can find whether they are salvation or destruction. Seek out Dr. Mwinch in the town of Advdol. His studies have already led him to a stone. We must do this. It is the end of the world. You must join forces with the Doctor and discover the link between the stones and the future of humanity. Of course, Master, we seek the sealing receptacles. Do you know of them? Of course! As their name implies, the receptacles bind powerful spirits within. Said spirits are not of this world, but rather one native to the Netherworld. By containing the spirit, the receptacles channel the Netherworld's power. The Netherworld's power? Indeed, that's what I said. I see. Where will we find them? Well, you see. The Holy Grail is not an option anymore. Thieves made off with it not too long ago. What? And you apprehended these bird drops, yeah? I'm afraid not. They got away before we found out who they were. It's not good, yeah? You showed them no mercy to thief, only sword. Very well, Sork, you shall accompany him. Me? If they're after the receptacles, we cannot afford to hesitate. The three of you must go and locate the remaining two as soon as possible. 3 people have easier to than, yeah? With your might, we cannot help but prevail. We now have a warrior, yay! Ba, 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 ba. Where are the other 2 receptacles? The nearest is located in Horn Cave beyond the Great Forest. However, it can only be reached at night when the tide comes in. Very well. Come, Mr. Serlin. Thank Gramps. Gramps? Sork joins you. Yay, bye. It appears to be sealed. Aww. Aww, again. I would also agree that, like, if, for example, if I was to... I mean, I already kind of said this, but if I was to introduce like, guns into a pure medieval fantasy setting, I would do them exactly as I mentioned. They would be kind of hard to come by, you know, hard to repair, hard to produce. So, they'd be rare, or expensive, one of the two. And they would take some time to reload, you know, like your old stock musket. But they would be devastating. Like, one shot would be... So, again, from a gameplay perspective, I would functionally treat them as cooldowns. You know, do you want to sacrifice one of your party members to basically kill something every now and again? Kind of how I wished Mustadio was in FFT, to use a direct example. Exactly, a boring. A specialized weaponsmith, probably like a clocksmith or something, too. You know, someone who has experience with dealing with that kind of refinement and precision. Point being, I think it could work, I just don't think most settings bother to try and make it work. Now, I don't want to get into this discussion again, but World of Warcraft, or rather Warcraft in general, basically simultaneously does it well and poorly, in my opinion. On the well side of the equation, technology is basically portrayed as roughly equivalent to magic. In other words, a very powerful mech or tank or whatever is basically as powerful as a big hulking demon or whatever. And to me, that actually makes a degree of sense, and I applaud that approach. The catch is every now and again they apply, you know, mech or tech as if it is far, far weaker than it should be. And of course, there's all the continuity inconsistencies when it comes to World of Warcraft, which, you know, are all over the place. Now, one setting... Did I hear something? One setting that tried really hard to do the magic tech thing and didn't quite succeed, but did a better job than most settings do, is Arcanum, or Arcanum of Might and or of Steam Tech and Magica Obscura, I believe is the full title. Which is fun. It's a good game. I highly recommend it if you haven't played it. The problem is it's not really equivalent. In fact, Tech is basically just better than Magic in every way, both in story and in gameplay. But the setting doesn't really apply in that way, and the game constantly tries to portray it as this the two are equal, but contradictory to each other, and basically there's some balancing issues that prevent it from really coming across as awesome as it should be. But it's still a good concept. They still do some good stuff with it. Welcome back, Smoked Aethel. Now, I happen to be very fond of smoked meat myself, so... Non-linear improvement of gear tiers? Now, that's funny you say that, Dakota. Some of you may or may not be aware, I swear I'm going somewhere with this, that I tend to keep a series of topics on the back burner for dry lore weeks. Now, we haven't had to dip into those for a while, but one of the ideas I had for a while there was of an RPG that doesn't actually have a difficulty curve at all. Like, the relative... Basically, imagine for a moment if you're playing any RPG, I don't care which, but just name an RPG. Now, picture the relative difficulty of the stuff at the end of the game, right? When you have all the tools at your disposal, and all the equipment, and all the abilities, and all the materia, or all the magicite, or whatever, and the kind of conflicts you fight towards the end of that fight with the complexity, or gimmicks, or tricks. Now, imagine the whole game did that. Imagine if you start the game with all of the toolkit available, and with the enemies being fully varied and designed. So there isn't really a difficulty curve, there's just the game. And I've actually thought about that many times, and I've pondered exactly how to make that work and how to make that interesting. The key, in my opinion, would be to vary the types of difficulty, to basically make it so that each encounter or each combat applies itself in a different way, rather than just being another fight, you know. But anyways, point being, it's an idea I find fascinating because I think it could work, personally. Sorry, boring. You're right. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. Ignore me. Let's go kill some rats. Fine, Aethel. We won't eat you alive. But anyways, I bring that up because that would kind of make the gun thing work, I think. If you have access to that kind of toolkit at the beginning, you know, the problem's solved. Now, that is a valid point to big up. Plenty of people play RPGs specifically for the point of progression. I've talked before about how human beings are psychologically inclined, I don't know a good word here, to progress, to enjoy progression, and I'm the same way, absolutely. Hi, Beaver. So I could kind of see how people would be like, what? It's a game where you basically never get stronger? What's the point? And I got to think about it. And I actually had, and I'll just pull up my notes here really quick just to look at it, because I had another idea for how to approach that. Let me just scroll down here to where that was. There it is. So, what if you were going through RPG X, and you could change the difficulty at will? Like, as soon as you pop out, any time out of combat, you can just go to the menu, like I'm doing right now, and go down and change your difficulty options. And use that as a way to either customize your experience so that the enemies get easier if you get tired of combat, or harder if you want more of a challenge. And again, in an ideal situation, I don't actually mean just easy, normal, hard. I mean the Dishonored 2 thing, changing the variables of exactly how encounters approach their combat with you, stuff like that. Now, I know that wouldn't work for everyone, because that would basically be putting all of the difficulty and power progression curve into your hands. But I think it's at least an interesting enough idea that it's worth thinking about. I don't know. It would definitely be a niche game, or niche game. I never remember how to pronounce that. Wow, we do not have a lot of money on this. Of course, we haven't been winning tournaments, so that makes sense. Actually, it's not a bad parallel, Loa Alex. And that's funny, because I used the encounter rate thing pretty much in exactly that manner when I was going through Bravely Default 1. What? I'm sorry, one moment. I just got an email from Twitch. You are banned forever, you suck, and you're the worst. Stop cheating on Sekiro. Sincerely, Twitch. Huh. Okay. Good to know. Did I? No, I bought a shield. And that. I'm sorry, I shouldn't even bring up the difficulty thing. It's a banned topic in my own rules. I should adhere to my own rules. It's just... What more can I say about it other than... Anyways, that's obviously not what that email was about. Apparently, they're going to try to approach... So, for those of you not aware right now, the way Twitch payouts work is I get paid for stuff that happened 3 months ago. In other words, to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, the payment I'm going to be getting, like, next week, I think. Yeah, next Monday, is actually the payment from... February, or actually more accurate, January to February. That is so the end of January, the beginning of February. That's that payment is what I'm getting, and they're apparently going to change that so that we get that in a smaller cycle, which is, I mean, whatever, doesn't really matter. Curious why they're even bothering. What? Oh, right, I got helmets, not shields. Duh. Can remember what I just equipped. Anyways, sorry, let me scroll because I missed a couple questions there. That's true, I do like the slider, even though it's actually lazy difficulty, but whatever. So that Fuzzy Duck, so Fuzzy Duck asks, what would I think about an RPG that has enforced hardcore mode? To which I would say no. That would be a negative. Absolutely. 100% certain that would be a negative to gameplay. Now, that being said, I am firmly in favor of hardcore as an option. Oh my god, they're doing a tournament? They are. Oh my god, they're doing a tournament. Woo! That's amazing. Anyways, so I'm actually, like I said, I am totally with hardcore mode as a concept, because that's what you described. But I think making a game which enforces that... Now, that being said, let's go ahead and branch out a little bit here. If it is within the realm of possibility to try and make a game which is designed around hardcore mode, right? Now, I've actually talked about that before. In fact, the vast majority of roguelites are basically hardcore mode games. It's part of their function. It's part of what makes them the type of genre that they are. I'm not sure how we can make an RPG in a similar manner, though. So if anybody has any thoughts on that, please feel free to share, because I got nothing. That is true, Takota. But, I mean, you get my point. So, Aethel asked another question I want to address really quick here. Point of entry. He mentioned something there, do you think the point of entry into gaming determines a lot of if you can handle older games? I'm going to go ahead and say yes, but I'm also going to say not necessarily. Let me just go ahead and get this out of the way, even though I've said this 700,000 million billion trillion times. I do firmly believe there's a difference between older graphics and... How do I phrase this? Rewind. Not all older graphics are bad. There's such a thing to be said for artistic effort being done with older technology. You could say that... What's a good example? Mega Man 3 looks worse than Red Dead Redemption 2. You can say that. That's a fair statement. Red Dead Redemption 2 obviously has a far higher graphics fidelity. The thing is, Mega Man 3 does not look bad, though. I used 3 on purpose because 3 had some of the best sprite work of the classic NES Mega Man games. In other words, what you do with graphics matters as much, if not more, than the graphics themselves, in my opinion. Now, that being said, getting back to your core question, I do think some people are entirely too accustomed to more modern graphics and basically go back and look at it like, Like, for example, I'm sure someone will look at this game. This is actually not a great example, but we'll look at this game. Or let's use Chrono Trigger as an example, because that's actually a fairly well done visually sprite work game. And someone will look at that and be like, whoa. That looks terrible. And not be able to deal with it because it doesn't look like the modern stuff, I have seen that, absolutely. To be as blunt as I possibly can, though, I don't put a lot of stock into someone who can't play an older game based solely on the fidelity of the graphics. The quality of the graphics is a little more debatable. After all, as I've said before, there are plenty of NES games.
Your dedication will be rewarded.
And SNES games, and Lich Kings in older games, which look like crap, right? I mean, I'm sure you could think of several examples of older games that just look awful because they were badly designed, right? So I'm not going to begrudge someone of going back and looking at Zelda 1. Yeah, I said it. And was like, whoa! But if someone goes look back at Zelda LTTP and goes, whoa, then... No. I hope that answers your question, because now I got to switch to the other question. But first, Darth Trinius decided to give me $5. Now, I'm afraid I'm going to have to kill Darth Trinius horribly to take the rest of his money. At least that's what I think we're supposed to do. Oh, no. First I'm supposed to, sell him something else, but not actually give it to him, and then sell him something else on top of that, and then I'm supposed to take the rest of his money. I feel like companies nowadays would do a lot better if they just killed people and took their money, right? Wouldn't that be a lot simpler than what most companies do? I don't know. Anyways. Point being, thank you very, very much, Darth Trinius. As ever, much appreciated. Thank you. My tie clip is becoming undone. Hang on just a second. There we go. Darth Trinius to Fire Emblem, which is June, I think. God, that's gonna... okay. Good, Bragwin, that they're okay, not that there was an emergency. Now, the other thing... Hang on, someone else mentioned something in the middle of that. That's true, Dakota. That would be pretty anti-RPG. The only way to make that work would be to have a story which basically de-emphasizes characters almost entirely. Picture for a moment. I agree with you, Blue F. Alex. I'm sorry, I shouldn't call out Zelda 1 like it's awful graphics-wise. There's worse. There's so much worse. But I can never think of the names of the worst ones because I didn't replay those games. They were crap, right? So I can't think of them off the top of my head. Elder Scrolls Blades. Basically, the answer to your question is yes, but Elder Scrolls Blades can go to hell. Simplest way I can put that. Anyways. Yeah, no comment, Lycon. Someone else said something that I was going to respond to. Oh, Takoida, right. So imagine Takoida. Yeah, imagine Final Fantasy Tactics with none of the named characters, if that makes any sense. I really legitimately think that could work. I mean, I know I'm a character guy, and I know I love character in fiction. But I feel like if we had a story which was entirely focusing on the plot or the events or the setting, it could work with basically mooks. You can name them, you can rename them at will, you can customize them, and you can set them up as whatever. And I can kind of make my point here because XCOM, right? Yeah, XCOM had that. XCOM also has that. But I think that could work if we wanted to do that kind of revolving door approach to difficulty. Basically, the only catch there, and I don't know how this works, but the only catch there is we'd need to do something to vary it, because otherwise what would happen is the difficulty curve would be like this. Just constantly resetting. And, well, actually, I'm saying that wrong. The power progression curve, sorry, not the difficulty curve. The power progression curve would constantly be resetting as you constantly lose people. Now, at the same time, I do think that's an interesting concept, especially if it was a choice. Like if Command and Conquer over there decided to go ahead and send half his Nod forces to go fight in some other battle that's going on over there, and your only source... Oh, yeah, what if your only source of troops or material or whatever in the second fight or second campaign or second front or whatever is from the first? So in the first front, you want to level people and set them up, but you need to also be tossing them over to the second front. In the first front, you get fresh reserves. In the second front, you only get stuff from the first front, only stuff you send to yourself. So in that way, you would be encouraged, and it would be on you, too, to try and do it exactly how you choose to. And, you know, I want to send this guy, and this guy, and this girl, and this guy, and this equipment, and this money, or whatever. And that'll help the second campaign out, which I am also playing. And if you do it too much, you detriment the first campaign. If you do it not enough, you detriment the second campaign. And of course, there's a huge amount of potential for basically difficulty challenges there that the player can just decide on themselves. This time I want to do the second campaign with nothing but melees and see if I can make it work. Or like 3 guys, right? We're going to do the single Pokemon challenge, except in this game. You know, something like that. Thank you, Command & Conquer, very, very much. Sorry, I didn't want to lose myself in the middle of that, because that's a great idea. We should totally do that in a game. But thank you, Command & Conquer. Much appreciated. Would you like to put those bits towards something? Now, Papa Neek's there. Well, that's just insane. Papa Neeks is insane. I can't work with him. There's this insanity in his brain. Thank you very, very, very much, Papa Neeks. As ever, much appreciated. If you'd like to put those bits towards something, just let me know. I know we're in the backlog phase, but let me know as per your preference. Thank you. Hi, Tazaro. It's a custom one, Aethel. Interesting, Dakota. Put it towards Doom, you got it. Let me just jot that down real quick. And I'll go ahead and put Command & Conquers to Doom as well. I already decided. As soon as Command & Conquer said, your choice, I figured I'd let the next viewer decide. And then immediately Papa Neeks is like, behold, I have decided. Serland's campaign also has a game-breaking bug, so we're going to be kind of keeping an eye on that. It's okay, we don't have to worry about that until we're in Chapter 8. Now, at some point I need to pause for a little bit. Not only because I'm in a lot of pain, but because I need to move my car. I guess I don't need to move it right now, I can move it later. Whatever. I do need to make food happen, though, too, because I'm actually literally out of food in my home. I have 0 food here. I don't deserve to eat. On the plus side, even though Platy's not here to hear this, Looks like the shipping packages are on their way and should be here tomorrow, so that'll be excellent. Hopefully, next week we'll be able to finish shipping out the rest of what we got. Although we still need to figure out what's going on with the international shipping. I need to talk about that tomorrow during Lore Week. So for those of you who are international, who are trying to buy pins, please be there for tomorrow Lore Week, because we got to decide what we're doing with that. You cannot command me to eat. I am beyond your control. That's actually not true. I am as ever your dancing monkey, but don't do that. I should make food happen, though, so hang on, let me check something. What are all these frickin' plants here? This is so weird. Food is mandatory. That's not true. You don't have to eat. I've been really... like, it's not going to happen. There's no way. But I really wish I could do something for FF6 this month. For those of you not aware, this is the 25th anniversary for Final Fantasy VI. And, enough said, I suppose. I would totally eat pill food if it made me lose weight. Lose fat, I should say. A decent chunk of my weight is actually from, you know, muscle. Yeah, no, Tazara, absolutely not. I call it the backlog for a reason. It's gotten out of hand. We need to push through these games. Besides, what would I do for FF6? What type of stream is there for FF6 I have not done? It'd just be, here's FF6 again. Nobody wants to see me play FF6 again. Not really, Tazara, although I should mention something, Tazara, for you messaging me on Patreon. We've already passed it, Ethel. Patreon isn't super reliable about letting me know when I have messages. Periodically, I basically have to go and manually check Patreon, which I've gotten into the habit of doing to make sure that I see if there's any messages there. So if anybody out there, this is true for anybody, if you message me on Patreon and I don't respond, it's because I literally haven't gotten your message. Because I have to go manually check that stuff. So FYI. Non-magic run? I mean, that I've done challenge runs like those several times. They're kind of fun. See how far I can get in 25 minutes. Go! FF6 with a Guitar Hero controller. I mean, we could do a Twitch Plays FF6, but not a lot of people really showed interest in that, so we kind of stopped doing that. Now, Command & Conquer. We could play that again. Thank you again, Command & Conquer. As ever. Much appreciate your support. Thank you, sir. Would you like to put that towards anything, or do you still not care about any of my streams? Except for Doom. Apparently. Welcome to the Horn Cave. There's a lot of rhinos here. It's actually pretty creepy. I mean, I do stream basically every day, Tazara, so it's not really hard to get a hold of me. I've also publicly given out my public email, so that's pretty easy to get a hold of me. I mean, I'm not hard to get all of, man. It's... Now, Twitch messages, I also have to check Twitch messages manually, which I've gotten into the habit of doing. So you're going to put that towards Doom as well. I'm just going to bake that into the previous thing right here. So noted. And thank you again. I'm not sure what I think of the story stuff yet, because obviously we don't know a lot yet, Papa Neeks. With regards to what they're doing with the mount thing, about frickin' time is really my thoughts on that. What else are they changing? Remind me. You know that's true, Dakota. Uh-huh. Oh, that's how I make new spells. Oh, geez. Okay, hang on. Well, the new zones is the story stuff, so again, I can't really speak to that. Being able to fly there, about frickin' time. I'm sorry, I'm a very, very, very pro flyer in WoW. I make absolutely no apologies about that. I don't remember the specifics of what they're doing to Heart of Azeroth. I remember it's like you get something and then you add it to it and that becomes a new suffix. The new raid, yeah, Ashevane. That's all I gotta say about that one for right now. So we've got Arcane Destruction, which is Tiller. Lava Barrier, which is Thorsolan. Molfo is Wind. Life's Divine Light is Megami. So hang on, before we do anything stupid. So what's this do? Restores HP to all. Whoops. Ah! So what happens if I do Megami... even though this shouldn't do anything. Megamina. Void damage to all. Interesting. This is awfully unique, and probably is going to get a Gameplay Plus, but at the same time, I have a really weird feeling that I'm not going to get a lot of use out of this because I'm not going to have a guide. I'm just going to have to figure it out for myself. I'm kind of interested in Command & Conquer. We'll see what they do with it. We'll see what they do with it. What if I add Na to this? Void damage to all. Yeah, no kidding, boring. Of course I have Papa. That stuff was released, like, and by released I mean publicly shown, like, months ago. It looks alright. Okay, that's what I thought. It looks like anything that's nonsense is just void damage. Or not? Hang on. So Braegwyn is fire damage, single target. Lore is HP restoration, single target. Hang on, hang on. Actually, I'm curious of something now. It's always going to be capitalized. Alright, whatever. Never mind. Anyone else want to be a spell? Because apparently it's just interpreting it however. Like, I don't know what's guiding it. That's the problem. I have no... You're already a spell, Braven. I just did you. I don't know what the patterns are. Tabigo is lightning damage, single target. And then, what have I got here? Papaneeks. Which is Spirit Up, single target. Let's do blue. I don't know if your whole name's going to fit here. Blue. Wolf. It'll barely fit. Alex. Biggest spell in the spellbook. Water damage, single target. Wow. I'm very, very curious how it's deciding what is what. I'm starting to think it's pure random. In fact, I could test that, just occurred to me. Takoida is water damage. Blue Elf Alex and Takoida are both water damage, but one of them costs 9 mana, the other one costs 7. Hang on just a second, before I do anyone else. Oh, it's still 8 mana cost, restore HP 1. Interesting. What is determining it? Because I really thought there was a pattern to it, but near as I can tell, there is no pattern. At all. It's just whatever. Oh, hang on. Like, I literally cannot... Whoops, damn it. I literally cannot determine a pattern here. Anyone want to look this up? I'm actually quite curious how this works. Lycon reduces speed for one target. 20 mana. I could cast that twice right now with my mage. Let's see what Smoked Aethel is here. Lightning damage, single target. These are all single target. Okay. So, Lef, Ig, Aqua, Tia, da, 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 da. Okay. This is an interesting list, and thank you, Abhorring, but this isn't telling me about the system. Like, this just sounds like, okay, the way the system works is, and this is what I thought it was originally, was that there are certain things that will result in something, and then there's everything else which will result in nonsense. Let me use a direct example of what I was assuming this was. Asheron's Call. Now, for those of you who don't remember the early days of Asheron's Call, how many of you have even heard of this game? Back in the early days of Asheron's Call, you had to research your own spells. That's how you learn spells. Now, there was a pattern to it, a system to it. And, you know, you would do, like, this component is fire, this component is target, this component is, like, bolt, and this component determines the level of the spell. Put it all together and you get level 3 firebolt, right? And that's how the whole system worked. But there were lots and lots and lots and lots of combinations that didn't make anything. Because, you know, there was no spell designed for that, if that makes any sense. So if you make a nothing, then you basically have nothing in result. You know, it's just nothing, right? Now, I assumed, because if you notice, several of the ones we started doing were all just void damage all, I assumed, okay, that's probably the nothing result. That's what we get if we do an improper combination. However, as you can see... hang on. as you can see, there we go, all of these made something, even though none of these follow any patterns whatsoever. This is just random letters. So I actually have no idea how random words is, how it's deciding what is what. It probably doesn't help that this was, of course, originally designed not to be in English. Braegwyn is fire damage, for example. Now, fire is IG, so maybe that's why? And, hang on, what's Tabigo? Tabigo is lightning damage. Lightning damage is SOA, so that doesn't work. Papa Neeks was Spirit Up. That's not even one of the basic things. SUNA is apparently Spirit Up, which has nothing to do with Papa Neeks. Water damage is Blue Elf Alex. We probably have something in there. Water. Water is AQU. Nope. Takoida is also water damage. Again, AQU. Not in there. Honestly, I kind of think that someone in chat, boring, is right. I'm kind of leaning towards that. It kind of feels like there's the stuff it knows what to do with, and everything else it just kind of treats your letters as a seed and it makes something out of it. Like, why are Blue Elf Alex and Takoida water damage, and why are they different mana costs? You know? Anyways, that is a fascinating system. How do you get rid of a spell? Ah! No! Ah! No! Again. I need to get into combat with something real quick. Hang on. I need to cast Lore. I cast Braegwyn. I just want to see how much it heals for. $10. That's an 8 mana. That can't be right. It isn't. That isn't right. That isn't right. It looks like it just doesn't do overhealing. That's why it only did 10. There's no way an 8 mana cost heals for 10. Especially a game that has had nothing done for it for 30 years. Yeah, or 30 years doesn't exist. Sorry, 20 years, 20 years. 22 years. 23 years, excuse me. I cast Ethel. Hang on, let's just really go with this. What else we got here? Let's cast Braegwyn. And... Tabigo. Braegwyn! 10 damage. Ethel, 35 damage. Tabigo, 57 damage. I have absolutely no idea. I give up. I straight give up. I'm just going to say it's random and move on. Yeah, we'll keep Ethel. But Braegwyn is crap. Well, I mean, of course you do 10 these notes at 10 costing. Lycon probably... Well, Lycon is speed. I am curious of this, though. Hang on. There's apparently, like, a cheat spell built into the game. Let's go ahead and describe it really quick here. It's a restore all HP thing for 1 mana. I'm actually curious how much it heals for, too. What were we doing here? I am really lost. Story-wise, what am I supposed to do at this point? Hang on. I remember we had to go through the forest to find... Was it in the forest? God, I really don't remember. I have been so distracted by this mantra thing. God, that costs so much mana. Well, let's see what this does really quick. Test theory. Yeah, that's what I thought. You notice it actually healed 0, so it will not overheal. Which is actually a shame, because it means I can't tell how strong a heal is. Just gonna race through this. Need to get back to town, really. Although, maybe there's a place I didn't go to here. I don't know. What? Oh my god, the item cap is 9. I guess we'll be testing out Blue Wolf's spell in a minute. Blue Wolf Alex. $100 damage. I mean, it's only double what I'm doing right now, so you know. Let's try Takoida out. Takoida! 117 damage. About the same price. We already did Aethel. Did we do the Big O? I think we did Big O, yeah. Regwin we did, Nidu did. Let's do this one. Oh, right. Next round, we'll do the other one. I mean, water damage is bludgeoning. In all its brutality and horror. I wish you guys were AoEs. Exactly, and what is more bludgeoning if not life, the Count? Sorry. Oh hey, they're next to its castle. Hey, a Panakia. Actually, that's right, I was going to test that, wasn't I? So let's see what Breguina Let's just do that. Bregwina. Let's see what that does. Water damage. Single target. I'm telling you, it's just random. Like, it's obviously seeded because it'll get the same results for the same things. Because she's back to fire damage 1. But there's just some randomization going on here. Brig... when... Gah. That's the Final Fantasy thing, but sure. Fire damage, single target. Right. Well, we're gonna get rid of Lycon. He's crap. I'm kidding, but we are gonna do. Because I want to test something here. Ow. Aha! Hey guys, what's my favorite type of art form? Fire damage! No, I'm kidding. It's actually Anim. From Animus. It's Resurrection. Ugh. Having a res is probably going to be helpful. Wow, who girl. Reminds me of a cat who was a friend's cat who really loved lime and then just freaked out and then ate more lime. Like, constantly. It was actually quite funny. Let's see. Yeah, sure. Let's do one silly spell, just for the heck of it. We'll replace Papanix, because you are crap, by which I mean you're a buff. Who needs buffs, honestly? Yep, that's the one. And sure, we'll go ahead and head Sugar Magoo. Let's see what that does. Barely fits. Void damage. Oh! I was expecting another water damage, to be honest. Oh, hang on. Let's do this really quick. Sugar Magoo. What? Yeah, let's do this one. Yes, that's Meteor. Meteor Luminaire. 300 damage. I'm just gonna hold on to that one. But yeah, I basically threw a giant cube at them with Sugar Magoo. I'm keeping that. I'm keeping Sugar Magoo. Doesn't do what it's supposed to do, but that's okay. Because it does this. Sugar Magoo! It's crap damage, too. I'll probably get rid of it later. So, what do you guys think about positives and negatives when it comes to the spell system? I think we could pretty safely say there's at least one positive deserved there, right? Like it rewards you for paying attention to, the actual spells, because if you're paying attention, we've gotten like 7 or so different words so far, and suffixes that we can use just by talking to people and by hitting dungeons and looking at chests and all that fun stuff, right? So it's not like the game hasn't been giving us stuff in-game to figure out how to do spells. Now, one other thing is you might wonder how I did the meteor thing. Well, apparently, this is kind of... I didn't notice this, so I'm going to have to pay attention. Apparently, though, when a boss does something like Sugar Magoo, I'll just use that as an example, it'll actually say Sugar Magoo on the bottom. So you can then go into the thing, make your own spell that's just spelled the same, and then it'll do the exact same thing. So that's actually pretty cool. So that's all awesome, and I'm with all of that. What I am less with is the fact that there doesn't seem to be any pattern to just straight experimentation. Like, there's the stuff that we know, which we can make and develop, and that's neat and all. But then it's like, okay, well, what if I do a Eflena? Well, it didn't do what it was supposed to do. Like, I just used an example. Like, Bregwena should have turned whatever the Bregwe damage is into Na AoE, but it didn't. So near as I can see, that would be like the potential downside or the potential negative, is that even though it's kind of a really cool system, anything that does not fit within the exact parameters of the system, it seems to just be completely random. Just deciding on a whim, like, it does this, with this much damage and this much whatever. If anything, I would imagine it actually functions, this is going back to what Aboring mentions, I would imagine it functions similar to the way a lot of old passcodes worked back in the NES era. If it doesn't fit the preset parameters of spells that should be in the game, then it just says, okay, well, there's a B and an... So there's a B, so that's this type of damage, and then there's a BR, so that's this type of attack, but then there's an N, which reduces the attack by this, and so forth and so on. Each letter of the alphabet basically doing something to the net result, turning it into whatever the end spell is. And without an actual list of what all 26 letters actually do, specifically, right? That being said, I actually find myself wondering if it is possible, with an understanding of what all 26 letters actually do, to basically craft a custom spell or 2 or 3, which is, awesome, doomy, etc. In short, at the moment I'm thinking it probably deserves a gameplay plus and negative. And that plus is theoretical, whereas the negative is not. The plus relies on the game continuing to give us, ways of learning new suffixes and modifiers and whatnot. Words. Gotta be leveled. We've been in here way too long. If you're wondering what the hell I was doing, by the way, I was just, I figured since maybe, I couldn't figure out what to do, I was just making sure to explore thoroughly to see if there's anything I missed. And since there wasn't, I went ahead and just killed all the flowers here, thinking that would make something happen. Which it didn't. So I have no idea what the hell the game wants me to do at this point. So we're just going to hit the end and save. And then we're going to take a lunch break. Well, kind of, because I haven't actually ordered lunch yet. But I do need to get up from the computer for a minute. For pain-related reasons. We're at the same level as Scion. I really don't know what to do here, too. I'm actually lost. That's also entirely possible, Aethel. Since this was translated by fans into English, I imagine that there's pieces of this we're just not getting. It's entirely possible that in Japanese this system is perfectly codified and makes perfect sense. That's another reason I'm hesitant to give a negative for it, because it's just kind of like... Anyways, for those of you on YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and chop off so you don't have to be here for my lunch break, so...